Blacks don't even ask for being paid for 262 years, for 250 years of slave labor. We have never even asked them to pay us. Even we say, oh, they don't owe us nothing. The hell they don't. They owe us blood and nothing else. I mean, what other group of people? What other group? Listen, you got to listen, Carol. You clap if you want to. But listen, what other group of people in the world, like us? We're the most forgiving people in the world for other people, but if your sister wear your dress, you're a shooter. You will shoot her. If a brother step on your foot, you will shoot him. That's menticide. That's menticide. People keep asking, why do blacks kill blacks? Why do we treat each other so bad? Blacks kill blacks. Why? Because they've never been trained to kill whites. Therefore, it's outside their experience. You kill and you love people you've been trained to do that too. We have been trained, and we've been trained not to love black folks. We've been trained to kill black folks like everybody else. Will imply that we are not faced with a very shrewd, uncompromising, dangerous enemy. Don't ever take it in your mind that these white people are going to be easy to be had. It ain't going to be true. This is a hard fight because they have the institution and we have the people. You see, and as long as you control institutions, you can control the behavior of people.
In a world where there's great scarcity and where things must be achieved through competition, the male must be trained to compete. He must be trained to take risks because the life of the community, depends on it. It's not just a game of male chauvinism. He must then, in a life, and we are in a competitive system. We hear this all the time, don't we? A competitive system. How then are we going to live in a competitive system if we do not train our men to be what? Competitive. And to be competitive means to take risks, sometimes enormous risks. To be competitive means often to be able to withstand pain and to withstand the fear that threatens to overwhelm you. Being competitive means being enduring, persistent. You see, one of the problems you're going to find in many of our black children in school, that one of the things that defines their character is what we call the lack of persistence. The inability to stick with a problem and to stick with a lesson and so forth until they master that lesson, to fall easily to frustration. But in order for us to be ruled, we must have children who give up at the first moment of frustration, or men who must quit as soon as they run into rough territory. But the other men who want to rule must make it what? Rough. They got to. I guess they can't protect what they have. And so in order for you to take what they have from them, since it is a society of taking, you got to learn how to deal with what? The roughness. And this is what this thing is about. The true nationalist is forward-looking and futuristic. I see too few conferences, few people concerned about the future, even nationalists. What is going to occur in the year 2000? What will be the condition of the people in the year 2050, 2100? What must we do today to secure the survival and the advancement of African people the world over? What must we do to fight off the threat of the Asian takeover of the world? We're not only confronted with the white man today, ladies and gentlemen, we also confronted with other people in the world today. We are confronted then with a rise of Asian civilization as well. Are we to throw off, or are we to see the death of European civilization only to fall under the yoke of Asian civilization? We can look out in our streets today and see it coming. It is around us everywhere. The invasion of our communities by the Asian units is a sign of times to come. And the African man is at the crossroads today, where African people then must not only evoke their great past, but now they must evoke their future as well and create that future. The true nationalist then does not escape
and hide through glorification of the past what must be done in the present and what must be done in the future. The bogus nationalist, he raises up the people and builds up a false pride in the people in terms of past history, but he leaves them groping as to what must be done now and leaves them feeling high and mighty when they walk out of the halls and oratory with out of the halls and out of the churches with his oratory ringing in their ears, only to face the Korean stores once they get outside, only to face their communities taken over by Arabs, by Hispanics, and by other groups. And with that ringing oratory and rhetoric, they must face the reality that while the knowledge of history is wonderful and is great and it is a necessary part of our resurrection of people, it is not going to be our sole basis of salvation. We must not only concern ourselves with our past, we must concern ourselves with now, and we must use now to create our future.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. And shouts out to you, my brother Bobby Wright. You know, I wish you can come on here. It might just be me and you on here as long as you stay on here. And I don't plan on being on here long. Shouts out to my brother Bakari. And y'all subscribe to my brother Bakari's show. That was a great live earlier, you know, talking about the shows. It's something I wanted to show, and I am going to mention like HBCUs, but you know, I'm on your side, Bakari. I know it's too late, you know what I'm saying? I probably should wait for another day, but I can't because it'll be like a lot of days and then I'll have something else to talk about, you know, so I couldn't really do that. So I'm gonna go through this fast as I could, you know what I'm saying, fast as I can. And you know, shouts out to y'all. And so yeah, y'all subscribe to Bakari channel. And I think him and Bawana is about to have you know, this sports show every Friday. So make sure y'all subscribe to that. And I appreciate y'all brothers for coming on here. And like I said, man, I'll kind of go through this as fast as I can until, you know, I know y'all probably be asleep before I do this, but I'm not going to be on here long. So, you know. All right. So let me start here because the other day we mentioned on Bakari's channel, like the water thing. And you know, I kind of want to give an update to it, you know what I'm saying? So let me play something a little bit more serious up front. And this is the Jackson mayor talking about the water crisis or whatever in Jackson, Mississippi. And I know that there's a lot of discussion about what's been going on in Jackson, Mississippi. And if you come in the thing, just put it in the thing because I'm gonna look, but I might not remember. So just put it in the chat if you backstage, and I'll add you on because I'm gonna try to go through this. So I just want to show this thing about the water crisis, you know, and it's good that it's late so I can get through it kind of quick, and I can see right now I'm on time because, you know, here we go.
Jackson, Mississippi has been plagued with water infrastructure problems for years now. In 2022 and 2023, the predominantly black city suffered from multiple incidents right in a row, leaving some residents without easy access to clean water for weeks at a time.
And listen to this. The EPA says that in the last 2 years alone, the city has seen more than 300 water boil notices. Clearly, it's an issue we've got to talk about. So let's go ahead and bring in the Jackson, Mississippi mayor, Chokwe Antar Lumumba. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you raising up this issue.
And it's a big issue, right? Because the issues here range from a lack of water pressure in schools. You also have storms knocking out water for residents. But you say that a lot of these issues, these water issues, they've been going back decades and really are deep rooted. So what's going on here? What's driving all of these problems? And where's that infrastructure now?
Absolutely. So, you know, I moved to Jackson.
It's ironic. All of these towns is like, you know, historically, black people have done great things in these towns, you know. And if we're going to be talking about where we're from and what we're doing, I mean, are we going to be really down for each other and do the things that it takes to get it done. You know, I don't know. I'm throwing myself in this equation too. So
Jackson in 1988. I fondly, or not fondly, I distinctly remember in 1989 where we had a winter freeze that debilitated our water system. For some residents, their memory and reflection goes back further than that. And so it's been decades long. This is due to decades of neglect through a deliberate indifference or a willful neglect from state leadership to fund what many leaders in the city have been begging for years. I give my predecessors credit that they've been lifting this issue up, but these calls have been falling on deaf ears. And so through the support of the Biden administration, for the first time, we can say that there's light at the end of this tunnel. We were able to receive, through a combination of the end of the year omnibus bill and other federal resources, more than $800 million to go towards our system. And so now we have to build not only a sustainable.
Now, my brother Bukhari talked about how they're using that money against, you know, Black people, right? And what they're doing in Mississippi. Yo, what up, KWAZ Radio? And make sure y'all subscribe to everybody's channel. I think Matron is back in the building. Yo, y'all make sure y'all go back to the last live. I'll put her channel in the link, you know. I think she about to start doing lives again. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to her and everybody else at KWAZ Radio, you know, especially my brother Bitter Medicine Podcast, Koku. So shouts out.
Sustainable, an equitable and dependable system, but a system that the community is at the root of making sure that it reflects what they deserve and what they need.
And so now the city has received, what is it, more than $100,000 in water crisis donations. But you said in January that money hadn't been touched yet.
Yeah.
So what's going on with that money?
Yeah, so to be clear, in terms of the robust effort to support the residents of Jackson, that has actually been in the millions of dollars. A lot of that has been reflected in water donations, providing residents water. At the very beginning of this crisis, the challenge was getting water to residents. Mm-hmm. The $100,000 was money that was provided in large part by United Healthcare, a partner who works with the city, in order to provide water filters. Those filters will help build confidence with residents in the quality of water as we make these repairs. The first step is to make sure that they have water first, right? And so the filters would not have been the best solution early on because there was no actual water coming out of the taps. And so these filters that we're looking at, because you don't know what you might meet when you get in people's homes, the variation of plumbing that take place. So we're looking at pitchers that will be able to provide these residents so that when the water is consistently flowing through the tap, they'll be able to fill the pitcher and they'll have an extra layer of comfort in what they're being provided.
And let's talk about the city of Jackson. It is 80% Black, and the EPA recently launched a civil rights investigation into whether state officials deprived Jackson of bipartisan infrastructure funds on the basis of race. So who or what is to blame for this?
Well, you know, as I said before, there's been a deliberate indifference or a willful neglect of the needs of our city. I believe that is being taken to task now, and an investigation is ongoing. I think that not only based on Jackson being a blue city in a red sea and having the partisan divide, it is the blackest city in the nation. And so
now, he said a blue city in a red sea, or does he mean a black city surrounded by a bunch of redneck hill have the eyes kind of folk out there? You know what I'm saying? And they're using that, whatever.
In a red sea and having the partisan divide. It is the blackest city in the nation, and so there are racial dynamics at play. And we have to ensure that the past that we know Mississippi to be a part of isn't reflective of our present or our future. And so, you know, I do believe that this investigation is necessary. I think that it is part and parcel of a process that we've seen for many decades now, generations, where the state is not a willing partner. As we speak, there are legislative measures going forward to attack the Black leadership, not just me as mayor, but Black judges, attack Black prosecutors, and instead appoint leadership over a city, similar to a system of apartheid. And so, you know, we want to make certain that we're on the right side of history. And this isn't the narrative of Mississippi, and certainly not the narrative of Jackson, Mississippi.
Right.
And it's also like apartheid in Jackson, Mississippi. And this bill to clean up the water, we already know what's up with that, but we also know what it takes to change that. So look, check it out, man. And this is Lawrence County, Lowndes County. And y'all know that I was talking about this, and I would probably get with my brother Bakari on this one. Yeah, I feel you, but that now he's being questioned by whatever. But and they accepting water bottle donations, and maybe I talk to Bakari because maybe we could use it for that, or I don't know. He's talking about water bottles, so we could see what we could do, or like come up with something. Because let me play this, because obviously the stuff that I was talking about with the septic tanks is not going to necessarily work on that level, because I don't have the same kind of reach or whatever, but also I don't want to state the obvious, but
Sheriff's Office is asking for the community's help to help others. Deputies say they're about halfway to their goal for collecting bottled water for people in Jackson. The water drive started last Friday with a call from the Mississippi Sheriff's Association, and they plan to deliver a tractor-trailer load of help to the state fairgrounds this Friday. Anyone who wants to donate water can take it to the Sheriff's Office on MLK Drive.
I remember when I was younger, my mom and grandmother would always say, today is their day. Tomorrow may be ours. So we never know when we'll need help from Jackson, Mississippi. So today, Lowndes County can step up and do what we can.
Ain't that some Lowndes County sending water to them, right? Because they understand that we've been there before. But ain't that some?
We'll need help from Jackson, Mississippi. So today, Lowndes County can step up and do what we can to help the people in Jackson, Mississippi.
Now, you can also make monetary donations through the United Way of Lowndes and Noxubee.
Now, you can also do these things yourself, you know what I'm saying? But even, Lowndes County, they got what they got going on. They need what they need, you know what I'm saying? But it's good to see stuff like this when black cities help each other, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the only thing that we have, you know what I'm saying? I was talking about the mutual aid societies, because that's what it's going to take, putting your stuff together. So
Asking for the community's help to help others. Deputies say they're about halfway to their goal for collecting bottled water for people in Jackson. The water drive started last Friday with a call from the Mississippi Sheriff's Association, and they plan to deliver a tractor-trailer load of help to the state fairgrounds this Friday. Anyone who wants to donate water can take it to the Sheriff's Office on MLK Drive.
I remember when I was younger, my mom and grandmother would always say, today is their day. Tomorrow may be ours. So we never know when we'll need help from Jackson, Mississippi. So today, Lowndes County can step up and do what we can to help the people in Jackson, Mississippi.
ain't that something, Bakari? Hey,
Hey, you know what? You're right. That is some, but it's good to see black people helping black people. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. And I'm gonna say this now. When I talk about Mississippi, and we talk about Mississippi and Alabama, right? In Lowndes County, Alabama, they're attacking us so much. We ain't skipping none. My brother that was in the chat earlier, yesterday we were talking Rev, who say he going to Alabama for water.
Yeah.
Right. The next county over 40 miles from Lowndes County, Alabama, is another county in Alabama that's 70% black that's having water problems. So if they keep attacking us the same way, it's something we're going to have to figure out. Look, man, some things we're going to have a meeting about, but we want to help everybody. And I just want everybody to know we ain't forgetting. We just didn't know. They're attacking us so much, we can't know everything that's going on. Just like everybody didn't know that when it rained, raw sewage was running back in the streets in Mount Vernon, New York. We can't know everything because they constantly doing the same thing everywhere.
So then what they do, so now they'll monitor. Trust me, man, a case of water gonna fool around and be $15 in the next year or two, man. If this keep going on, if we don't stand up and we don't do something, we're gonna have to make them. I'm just gonna say it like that. Whatever that means, we're gonna have to force change. And I literally mean that. We're gonna literally have to force change. We're gonna have to force the change. And they ain't talking about no change where I can hold hands with Becky, a black woman can continue to hold hands with Billy Bob. That's a change I want to stop. But we're gonna have to force change the way we're being treated, change the way we're being disrespected, change the way the country do us. We gonna have to force change unless we like being done this way. If we don't like this and we know this bullshit and we know we are better than this, we gonna have to stand up and let everybody know we know we are better than this. So we gonna do something about this shit, because now we got to make it stop. And it's just that simple. We got to make it stop.
Yeah, Bukhari, and I'm saying, you know, maybe I know you have your water thing. Maybe we can, you know, because even Lowndes County, I'm sorry, Bukhari.
Lowndes County, Alabama. But then look at Dallas County, Alabama. They having the same. Think about that. 40 miles away, having the same problems.
Right.
Then here you go, Jackson, Mississippi, just a few hours away, having the same problem.
Right. It's a whole infrastructure thing, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. But you know, I don't know, but maybe we could still, you know, put out whatever and like put just to get more bottled water, like because Bukhari been doing this, and you know, maybe we can help him out and get more water than usual. You know what I'm saying, Bukhari?
Yeah, we got to talk to my brother who do the and maybe, you know, if we just raise money, we can check and see where it needs to go. We rent a truck. If we can rent a you know, I'll drive it down there, no problem.
All right, definitely. And Bukhari, and I want to show something about HBCU, and I'm on your side this time, so you don't got to get on me, bro.
Yeah, I don't get on you.
But I gotta do this for Erica too, you know what I'm saying? Because you were saying this, but check this out, right? And I'm just only what this sister is saying. It's only like a minute or two.
About it just until today. In Mississippi, there was just a law passed like 5 days ago that.
Speaking of Mississippi, so like all of this is from Mississippi. That's right.
The Jim Crow laws are being reinstated. That shouldn't be happening at all. And I know you may be wondering, this is like not my normal content on here, but I'm sorry. And I just have to make this known because what the fuck? What the actual fuck? It's why? I really don't understand why people do not like me. Do not like us because of my color of skin. I don't understand. I really don't fucking understand. What the fuck did I do? I'm so fucking sorry that I was. I'm not gonna cry on here because
I'm not sorry either.
No, but this has to stop. I'm so serious. This has to stop. It has to.
Oh man, Bukhari. Did you hear that?
Yep, it got to stop. We got to make it stop.
She was crying. Why? You know, why do we?
And I can tell, and she crying. She's saying she don't know why. That means her parents. And her
Imagine becoming the best writer in the world at the click of a button.
My bad.
No, you good. Her parents and our community has absolutely failed her. Or she hard-headed and didn't want to listen. Because that's something she'll be taught when they come out the womb. Matter of fact, while they in the room. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you know, she's like, you know, why? What did I do? You know, I mean, they hate you because you're ancient. But you know what? Black people got to realize, you know, you got to compete, bro. Like, everybody's competing for survival to eat, normal, regular things, is no way that you can hold hands at the top. And, it's not my fault. I didn't start this, but obviously, and watch this. And this is in Tennessee, but we're going to go back to Mississippi.
Hey, can I say something about this bill, right? Let me say one more thing about this bill, House Bill 1020. I thought it was 1028, it's 1020. Okay, so it passed the House, but it's not in law yet because it ain't passed the Senate. And we need to be standing up, letting them know. If it do pass the Senate, y'all said, well, we ain't got to let them know. If it passed the Senate, y'all set something up, we burn that shit down. I'm just being honest, and I probably shouldn't say that on here, but I'm being absolutely honest. So if they want to call me a BIE, Black, BIE, Black Identity Extremist, oh well, shit, because they white identity extremists. That these white nationalists right there that people think is going to come and help us. You feel me? That's the white nationalists people think got our back. No, dude, them people for them damn selves. So what we got to do is just be prepared, get ready for any and everything. And I'm going to tell you something, right? And like I said, I trust first rifleman to come through. I'm like a Mizzy though. Who he gonna be shooting at if he show up first? And that ain't even me disrespecting that brother. But when we got to go through all this to try to explain to a black man what they're trying to pass, because it hasn't passed yet. It's not law yet. It's not law. So that is something that we need to go ahead and say it's not law yet. So maybe it's something we can do to stop it from becoming law. If that, you understand what I'm saying?
Well, it could be a law. Just get the hell up out the black state. Go to Iowa and do that, or Idaho.
Go to Idaho.
Right.
Go to South Dakota, North Dakota. Go to Oregon.
All right, Montana somewhere. You could do what you want.
Washington State. Yeah.
But check this out, Bakari. This is in Tennessee. This is one of those good Republicans. Did you hear this one? Check this out.
It's a very good idea. And I was just wondering about, could I put an amendment on that?
How was that? Tell me this motherfucker don't sound like he about to go look for an oak tree. Go ahead.
Good idea.
I put amendment on that. It would include hanging by a tree also. And also, I would like to sign on to your bill, sir. Thank you. Leader Cheryl.
Some black person. I'm appalled. I'll give you because they cut it out. It's 2023 and we still have white dudes saying they want to hang us on trees. I cannot believe it. That's just a demo of what he probably said.
Thank you, Chairman. And thank you, Representative Powers, for bringing this. I think it's a very good idea. And I was just wondering about, could I put amendment on that? It would include hanging by a tree also. And also, I would like to sign on to your bill, sir. Thank you.
So,
a bill that they call wrong, unjust, and racist. And now they want him to face consequences.
All right, it's February 28th.
There are a lot of moments on Capitol Hill that can go unnoticed. This wasn't a Republican from Sparta uttered those words. It set off a firestorm of controversy, including statements from the NAACP and a tweet from civil rights attorney Ben Crump. Representative Justin Pearson of Memphis took a different tact.
Will Stewart, Lee Walker, Jesse Lee Bond.
Using the welcoming and honoring portion of the House floor session to name Shelby County victims of lynching.
All of these names that I have mentioned are people who were extrajudicially killed at the hands and in the service of
Gabriel Prosser, Nat Turner, the brother down in Dallas, the brother in the
brother in Douglasville, Georgia 4 years ago.
Man.
Of white supremacy.
Representative Pearson, you're out of order. Do not come out of order again. Leader Camper, I'm asking for your assistance back there, please.
Later on the floor, Representative Sherrill read off the statement.
He slammed that joint super hard that time, Bakari. Them Negroes pissed him off.
And he sent reporters Wednesday night apologizing for his amendment.
I'd like to say that belief is the death penalty in kind.
Didn't smack of sincerity. Doesn't seem to be enough.
The words rang hollow to members of the Tennessee Black Caucus.
I'm begging Come on. The GOP needs to come out and call this what it is.
Speaker Cameron Sexton says he didn't approve of Cheryl's remarks, but left it at that.
I think if you saw, he apologized on the House floor for those comments being inappropriate earlier today.
Members of the Black Caucus had different takes on what should happen next.
He needs to be removed from all his committees immediately.
I think that Representative Cheryl ought to resign.
But they all agree this moment can't go unnoticed.
Because if we don't stop it now, others will be emboldened.
Lord have mercy, Bakari.
Shit, they already emboldened Mississippi. They emboldened Georgia. They emboldened every goddamn where. I don't know why we trying to act like, you understand what I'm saying? Other states ain't trying to make it no law, but this is the fucking American way with black people. And seeing what they do is they point down south to make it seem like they got it somewhere else better. Yeah, y'all might not have that law, but this shit was always the damn same. You understand? That's my take on it. Black people don't care where we are in this country. In this what oppressed, suppressed, depressed, shit, compressed, full court press. That's just how it is and how it been. I'm just saying, and it's been everywhere. It's been everywhere. And if we don't stop it, if we ain't willing to make that change, if we ain't willing, when I say make a change, I'm talking about change the way we deal with these people. Change the way we deal with these. Change the way we deal with these people. Change the way we deal with this damn country, and stop going around being the most patriotic people in the world. I'm a proud Black American patriot. What the fuck is that? But let's make we gonna do the red, white, and blue flag. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you never been technically a citizen, you know.
No, and people get mad when I say that. No, you're not a citizen.
And yo, Bakari, and check this out. And this is the last thing I'm gonna show before the HBCU thing. Because this is the same state, I think, Tennessee, the same state as dude calling for lynching, and then of course they're gonna justify it. But watch this though. Watch what they don't justify. Watch what they condemn.
Pearson called out by his fellow lawmakers for his apparel in the Tennessee House.
He chose to wear a dashiki onto the House floor, and it's now sparking a debate about what is considered professional attire.
Our Kelly Cook explains how the Speaker of the House is using a late, well-known Memphis legislator to make their case, Kelly, for what is appropriate and what's not.
Yeah, Jill and Joy, dashikis are popular in the African-American community. It's a tunic worn formally and informally that has origins in West Africa. Well, Thursday, a Memphis lawmaker opted to wear one, and it turned into a debate on the House floor and social media about decorum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thursday was the first day on the job for new Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson. And just like the first day of school, he was very intentional about his attire.
Wearing this dashiki on the first day and being sworn in wearing it is paying homage to the ancestors who made this opportunity possible.
During the day's opening remarks, Representative David Hawk of Greene County got up on the House floor to speak.
I want to talk about the history of Lois D. Berry.
The late Lois D. Berry was a well-respected longtime member of the state House, a Democrat and first woman and African-American to ascend to the position of Speaker pro tem. Hawk recalled years ago being reprimanded by D. Berry for not wearing a coat and tie in the assembly.
We honor Lois's memory and how we look and how we treat each other and how we give the respect that we hope to get back. I still, to this day, I keep an extra tie in my drawer.
It's time for the rules to change. It's changing times. There are going to be more people who are a part of the body that represent the plurality of our country.
Pearson immediately took to social media Thursday, posting, "A white supremacist has attacked my wearing of my dashiki. Resistance and subversion to the status quo ought to make some people uncomfortable." Tennessee House Republicans fired back, saying on Twitter that House decorum rules were unanimously approved, and said, if you don't like the rules, perhaps you should explore a different career opportunity. That's main purpose is not creating them. We checked and found there is no written rule for what can be worn on the House floor. However, In the permanent rules of order decorum, it is within the speaker's purview. There is a precedent of wearing a suit and tie, but it doesn't mean it can't be changed.
I told you, Kelly, I've been wearing suits since I was 8 years old. There's not a problem with wearing suits. There is a problem with upholding systems that tell people what is wrong and what is right based on what is considered normal. And in this status quo, what is normal is what is white.
Now, Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton did send us this statement saying, in part, men must wear a coat and tie if they wish to be recognized in the committee or on the House floor. Ms. DeBerry would frequently address members violating this precedent. And
now he tried to use the sister, and who knows what her politics was, but he was saying you got to be Europeanized. But what you think about that, Bakari?
I'm glad that brother wore it in there. Fuck them. What they gonna do? Get mad and do what he did? Let's talk about the late great DeBerry. We always doing it. Somebody they probably hated.
Right.
They just like they hated Dr. Martin Luther King and they hated Malcolm X, but they'll use them for a special one, but they'll use them for a reference in a heartbeat. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But
yeah, man, and yeah, so I just wanted to play that because and this is the same state where the dude just was on the bill talking about we need to bring lynching back, and they did not condemn that, but you know, apparently Dashiki is crossing the line here, and you know they're gonna use a sister to do that. So check this out, Bakari. I don't know if you saw this one, right? A white student sues a historically Black college, Howard University, for $2 million. And so he said, he showed this picture, and then he said, but we don't know what he did before the picture was taken. So let me play this for you, Bakari, and you could jump in anytime doing this.
Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. A former student of Howard University is taking the school's law school to court. The plaintiff, Michael Newman.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Erica, I showed that video. And shouts out to Melanated Goddess and Real Black Gentleman and James, everybody that came in here.
Is asking for $2 million in damages for his alleged pain, suffering, and emotional anguish. Newman, a white man, attended the law school from 2020 until he got expelled in 2022. He says he became a target for discrimination following his comments in a group chat with other students. After showing a picture of a slave's beaten and bruised back, he said, "But what did the slave do?" Newman says he repeatedly apologized. He also says he faced hostility on campus, with students calling him Mayo King and White Panther. In a statement, the school says the school is prepared to vigorously defend itself in this lawsuit as the claims provide a one-sided and self-serving narrative of the events leading to the end of the students' enrollment at the university. Let's talk about it with attorney Oliver Brown, who joins us here on The Factor Uncensored and a product of an HBCU. So first of all, when you take a look at this lawsuit and what the plaintiff has filed, do you think there's merit to it?
Well, I think it's pled very well, honestly. But as far as getting into the merits, until the university actually responds, I don't think that we're going to be able to really determine, you know, what is the validity of it. I was reading into the way that they slanted it, which all plaintiffs' lawyers will do. It sounded like he was just an innocent individual. However, I'm pretty sure there's going to be tons of students that file complaints based off of why he was kicked out of school, because he went through the disciplinary process that all universities have. So I believe that there's going to be things that come out in his discipline record where he may have been goading or harassing these people, trying to pretend as if he was getting to know African Americans, but really he was there just to kind of harass and be facetious. So
now we also heard about him being identified by his real Twitter account.
Yes.
So do you think he had an account where individuals did not recognize who he was, and he used that anonymity to be what some would call racist?
Well, I think the post that he made mention of, he was saying it was a tongue-in-cheek where it had the.
When he say some, he talking about America's First Rifleman, who wouldn't say he was racist.
picture of the slave, and he's saying, but what did he do before they took this picture? And he was saying that it was about making analogous of how people talk about how when cops harm black people nowadays, people go, well, what happened before the camera? He very well could have meant that, and it could have been taken out of context, right? But I believe that there's other outside factors that were playing in here for the university to go to the point of issuing some type of discipline, and he losing at multiple levels at the university. So I don't think the full story's out on it. I'll like to say one thing: putting $2 million out, just saying mental anguish, I can tell that that's not going to go anywhere. If he was making the argument that he went through 2 years and now he has to start back, and then he can do a calculation that he was a great student and that he would make $300,000 a year, now that puts him behind, maybe you would get to that, but not for mental anguish. No jury's going to give it to him. And then if this is filed in the DC area, we already know what his juror pool is going to look like. So he has an uphill battle.
Do you think this would have happened? And it's almost kind of apples and oranges, because if a black student said something like
apples and oranges, Bakari,
would he face the same type of punishment or sanctions or punishment?
I don't think that he was being punished for the old tweet. I believe it sounds that he was engaging in other conduct within their online atmosphere during the COVID pandemic. And so again, I believe there's going to be other factors that come in. It's not just one tweet. And
all right, so what do you think about that, Bakari?
He got kicked out of school. That's great. Somebody should have caught him and whooped his ass. That would have been even more great.
Right.
He ain't gonna get no money. You don't always have to say the politically correct thing. Like, well, he could very well could have meant that. You know he didn't mean that. You don't have to say the politically correct thing all the time. It's okay. The politically correct sometimes is they say, shit, man, I'm black. That was disrespectful.
Right.
And everybody should have been mad. That's the politically correct thing to say in that moment. That's how I see it anyway. That's the politically correct thing.
Right. Yeah, but you know, and then he feel like, yo, I can go to a HBCU, I can do it and say as I want, and you have the nerve to say something to me, I'm gonna sue you, and suing them for $2 million. And he probably just doing it to troll him. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I'm saying. Like, maybe some gates need to be constructed. That's all I'm saying, you know. But like,
that's what I meant when I said the other day, black people have white arrogance oozing out of them. Because he can go there and he feel he can say what he wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. Black people with the white arrogance feel they can say whatever they want to say about an HBCU. Never been, never done that. Don't stand for it. Don't appreciate it. But I can talk about it and I can say whatever I want to say because there's black people running it. And that's what I meant when I said that. That's exactly what I meant. He's white, so he got that white arrogance. But we've been around him in the system so long. When it comes to black people, that white arrogance come out of our system toward one another.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you, you know, and we definitely need to check it when it comes to, you know, coming out towards one another, you know what I'm saying? So yo, check this out. You heard about TSU? So they trying to take
Tennessee State or Texas Southern?
Tennessee State.
Yeah, they trying to shut them down.
Yeah. Check it out. Yeah.
After they just gave them $250 million to fix buildings that's condemned, that should have been knocked down.
Yeah, they coming after that sister or whatever. But yo, check it out. So this is the community rallying behind them.
Despite concerns raised in a recent audit, there is support in the community for Tennessee State University's president and trustee. Kenley Hargett shares the message from their supporters who say the state should have other concerns when it comes to TSU.
What I read in my Bible is that there's judgment for those who do not treat their fellow man as they would themselves.
A state comptroller's special report on Tennessee State University.
Oh, you heard him, Bakari? You heard what he said about the Bible?
Yeah. Judgment for those who do not treat their fellow man as they would themselves.
A state comptroller's special report on Tennessee State University has some questioning the legacy of the university.
Nashville Church pastor Enoch Fuzz organized a press conference with several other community leaders on that report. State legislators held an ad hoc Senate meeting to discuss the report's housing concerns, lack of planning, management, and sound fiscal practices.
I am sorrowful about our city from what we are doing. And to Tennessee State University, it seems to me that Ms. Glover has done for our school what many of the presidents preceding her have not been able to do.
Some state legislators argue that Dr. Glover has too much control at TSU and that the comptroller's special report is valid and needs addressing.
I know that there's very significant problems at TSU, and it appears the board has relinquished their duties and simply given all the checks and balances to the president of the institution.
During the press conference, they cited the lack of diversity on the ad hoc Senate committee reviewing the comptroller's report. But an issue they feel is overlooked is the $544 million the state owes TSU.
We have been historically underfunded to the tune of $544 million, but yet we're being held to the same accountability that universities that y'all have funded fully. Universities that have never had to beg for a dime.
Well, Tennessee State University alumni have a strong dedication to their school.
Now, ironically, a lot of the people in the state was mad that a lot of the black students was going to TSU instead of, the PWI there. And, they have had beef or issues with them. But, what you think about that, Bakari?
Excuse me, they feel she got too much control. They don't want a black person in charge. That's their white arrogance. A black person shouldn't be able to talk back to them that much and run shit the way they want to do it. So they coming at the black woman. They mad because she talking about the money. That's a bunch of bullshit. They want to shut Tennessee State down. They want to shut all HBCUs down. And and that's why I stand for them so strong. And that's why I tell people, if you're not affiliated and associated, don't hate. If it's something you don't understand, ask somebody. Because there's a whole lot of myths and a whole lot of lies that has just been literally told about HBCUs and on HBCUs. But in our mind, it get old. Because white people don't like it, so it's old. White people want black people, want all of them, so they can have all the control now. They want all the black athletes. More of them keep going to play with Eddie George, it's going to get even worse. Because, see, we see sports and say we shouldn't be playing sports. But they see sport as economics. They see sports as economics. And Eddie George is standing with it. They mad. They don't want to take that money, that $250 million, to fix buildings that should have been torn down. Like, they mad. They say they're not doing that. So they mad about that. They are mad about that. So the goal is they don't want to do that. We said we was going to give them some. They're going to give you some, but then they tell you you can't build nothing that's going to create revenue. You got to fix stuff that should have been torn up 10 years ago. And that's why I tell people, before you discuss and want to throw the insults that white people tell y'all to throw, that white people say, because most of them who talk about it use, these are white people talking points that most people use. Do like Eddie George did when Shannon Sharp said, said, well, they say we don't understand, but we all black, so we understand. And Eddie George said, no, I didn't go to HBCU. We don't understand. If you want to understand what they're going through in the problems, you can't be on the outside. And this is somebody who works there, who didn't go to an HBCU, who said you can't be on the outside talking about it. You need to go there, go study it. Learn what's going on before you make your decision and say things about them. But those people standing up, that president, she's standing up. Eddie George standing up, and the alum is standing up, and all HBCUs around the United States need to be standing up with them. We have to stand together. Or it has to be a united front with that right there. Because the problem, they gave them to you because they didn't want you to go to school with them. Now, They don't want you to have nothing. I'm telling you. So think about it. If they don't want you to go there, 90% of black students go to white schools, right? So if they don't want you in so if they shut down the HBCUs, and I always talk about the educators, the doctors, the lawyers, but majority of our professionals come from HBCUs. Now look at how many black people ain't gonna be in school getting degrees, won't have an opportunity to go to college because you think the university, if they shut down every black school in Tennessee, shut down Tennessee State, you think all those students at Tennessee State gonna get to go to the University of Tennessee? No, they're not. It's gonna be a whole lot of black students having to leave. Some of them can't afford to leave. They from there. Having to leave to go somewhere else because they want to go to an HBCU, or you just got to bow down and say, you know what, going here is better. So I don't know how many students at Tennessee State. I'm willing to say it's about 5,000 or 6,000. So then it's going to be about 4,000 students that can't even get in school. That's their plan. That's their design. That's why I stand up for it. Because when we stand up and fight HBCUs for white people, because that's who we are fighting for, we don't understand. We are fighting ourselves. It's a microcosm of the black community. We're the same thing, underfunded. We underfunded, so they underfunded. They say, well, we live as the hood. Go to the cities and see what most of the HBCUs are there and what black people would call the hood. Even though what most people call the hood, I say black neighborhood. Or they way out in the country in the middle of nowhere. Majority of them. And all that is done by design because they don't want to be, they don't want you around. They don't want to be around. They don't want to be around us. But they can't get away from us because we keep following them. So that's what I think about it. I probably went a little too long and went on a little rant. My bad.
Oh, no, you all right. And I know we'll get into the HBCU thing again, you know what I'm saying? And the thing, one thing I will say though, Bakari, you know, the thing is this, you know, I encourage our youth to go to HBCUs, you know what I'm saying? And that would be the reason why I would be like, but I will also listen to some of the stuff that they're saying, because even you know that there's some stuff that need, because you call it out, you know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is, like, if I say that, and the only reason why I would say that is because I wouldn't tell them to go to no white school. So, like, the white school is irrelevant. We know that, like, you know, they are horrible. They're terrible. Like, but if there's something to get some, because we want everybody, all of us, to put our money and invest into it. And for to be able to bring two sides together, you know what I'm saying? I think that they should be able to talk. And I don't think that you should be like, well, you know, well, you just can't tell me what to do if you still feel like, yo, well, we need to put money into it. Like, I think that for us to, like, you know, work together, that's the only reason. Like, if the youth is saying like, yo, I would love to go, but yo, these X, Y, and Z bother me. And you'd be like, well, you know, you can't tell me nothing because I know you're not saying that, but I'm just saying, if you have an attitude like, well, you know, you can't tell me nothing, then it'll be harder to get those youth to go there. So, like, you know.
Hey, can I ask you a question for it? What if somebody come in your house? What if somebody, let's say hypothetically, you had kids.
Mm-hmm.
You married with kids. But somebody who ain't married, ain't got no kids, ain't never been to your house, don't know nothing about you or Richmond, but tell you what you should do.
But that's the thing, Bakari.
They don't know nothing about you, your wife, your kids, or the city of Richmond, but they gonna tell you what to do. What would you say?
But it depends if I'm trying to get them to like spend money or about, like, I would be like, you know, like they could be like, yo, I wouldn't just like do everything they say.
But so let me show you something. Let me show you something.
If I'm like, yo, stay away from me and stuff, I'm like, yo, like, yeah, I'm good. We're good over here. Do your thing. But like, if I'm trying to recruit you to come to Richmond and live here, I'm gonna be like, yeah. And if you be like, well, like, yo, I don't like that.
But they can tell you about. But they can tell you about something they don't know. They ain't never been. They ain't affiliated. They can tell you. They can literally tell you about something they don't know nothing about. I don't understand why is it so hard for folks who haven't dealt with it to listen to Eddie George and say, you know what, I didn't know. So I went in and I learned. So once I learned, now I can say something. Because I'm going to tell you some forecasts. I'm going to tell you this from experience.
Bakari, you called them out, though. Like, you call out the people that I'm even talking about, though.
I know,
like,
but what I'm saying.
Too, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I'm talking about people who ain't affiliated, people who ain't associated, people who don't know nobody, who don't even go. What I'm saying is, don't know nobody who ever went. I'm finna tell you, HBCUs don't even ask black people who didn't go to HBCUs for no donations. They don't, because they say they know those black people don't like them. They don't ask those black people for money. I'm telling you what I know. They ask the alum or people who have ties to an HBCU. They don't ask nobody else.
I know, but we want the children to go to HBCUs though.
But,
Like that's what I'm saying.
But why is it so hard for people to understand? Maybe I need to study and learn before I make something about it.
But Bakar, you do the same. You say the same thing.
But I'm associated. I'm affiliated. I'm in part.
Okay, so you're saying that if you like, but that's my point.
I'm gonna say it like this, okay? Okay, I'm gonna say it like this.
So why would you ask them? So you're saying that okay, so nobody should I shouldn't even speak on HBCUs at all, good, bad, or indifferent, because I'm not, because I didn't go to one.
I'm gonna say it again. Right? It ain't the fact whether you watch this. The people who
I want my kids to go to one, like my children to go to one.
Watch this, and that would be good. And the point that I'm making is right. So that's why, because you talk about getting them to go there and they doing recruiting. They do visits. They talk to the parents. People can come in. That's what I'm talking about. Those people can come in. Those people can see for themselves. Right. They can make suggestions.
And listen, and so somebody come to your house and be like, yo, like, well, I'm not trying, because you can be like, well, I deny you. I'm not saying you got to change your whole thing because somebody said so. But if they be like, well, I suggest, like, I would feel more comfortable, like X, Y, and Z. You'd be like, well, I'll consider that. And then you may even come up with a better solution or a different kind of solution.
But you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to tell them, go listen to Eddie George. Go listen to somebody who was not affiliated, who was not associated. What he said, he knew one person that went. He was friends with Steve McNair. He said that, but he said he had heard of HBCUs. At least he didn't tell that lie like he had never heard of it. But he said, I was not going to pass. Why is that hard to fathom? I'm not going to pass judgment because I've never been to an HBCU campus and I don't know nothing about it. I only know what I've heard people say. So then once I came in, I studied and learned. Now I can talk. Like, why is that so? Because
this is the only thing you give that pass to, though, Bakar. This is the only single.
No, I don't. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. I've been a single. I'm a professional dad, right? That's what I did. That's my biggest profession. I've been a single dad for most of my grown life. Shit. Now my oldest son came to me. I was 24. He was 5. Then my kids. Now their mom passed away 17 years ago. Can't nobody who don't have kids, don't live where I live, don't know nothing about the schools here other than what they may have heard somebody say on social media. They can't come tell me, hey, you know what, this is what you should do. And I would say, why? So then when I tell them you're wrong about that, then they want to argue with me and tell me, no, I'm not wrong, because this is what I heard. And that's the point that I'm making.
But Bakar, even if you run a business and a customer come to you, it's not like they're taking over your business, but they'd be like, yo, this would be better if you do this. Like, yo, as a customer, I'd be like, yo, you would listen to that because you want them to be a customer. Like, if you be like, man, shut the hell up and get out of my thing. I ain't doing it. Like, yo, like you'll get a niche customer base, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But like, yo, that's why I'm saying why I separate like from the black community. We want people to go to the HBCUs, like not separate from them.
They didn't separate. They didn't separate.
But what you're saying is like you're telling me like, yo, because if I'm not any kind of profession, I can't even have an opinion on it.
No, that's not what that is not what I said. I'm gonna say it again.
But you're saying you can call it out because you are affiliated.
No, I'm saying most people who call it out don't know what they're talking about. They just say something and run with it, and then they're very disrespectful to it.
But I don't be disrespectful to you, and like even then you like I'm like, yo, because I know things that you even agree with, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and
I agree with it.
But what you still be like, don't say that, and y'all be like, yo, I'm trying to tear down HBCUs, but no, I'm like, I'm not. I'm like trying to say like, yo, like, yeah, I don't like this thing, but like, yeah, we need to. This is why I'm trying to like. I agree. Like,
okay, but that's why I asked one time because you say I said something and I said it seemed like you're trying to tear down. That's why I always use the example, and I use this example because I had family members go, and I'm gonna say it again. We do this, and we'll say we just calling it out. and they need to be pointed out. So when people stole money from Mississippi State, when my nephew was there, why didn't you hear about it?
Because nobody was calling it out.
Because they said it would embarrass the institution. And they literally had to sign papers saying, that's why I ain't gonna say my nephew name, even though he don't work there no more. He moved on to something else. But
if you don't do that though, you're not gonna solve the problem though.
They solved it because I guess they solved it. It probably hit somebody that's still stealing. But watch this. In another point that I make, with 90% of Black students going to white universities, why don't know? You say I give passes. White universities get the passes all the time because that's where most of the children going. And don't nobody ever call them out and say, well, this is what they should change.
But they should change, not going to the white institutions. That's what we're trying to do. That's the whole point. The change is not going there at all, and to bring them to the Black institutions. I'm trying to get them to spend their money with the Black institutions or regular people who may not go to donate their money to the thing. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm at least listen. That don't mean I have to bow down to everything that they say or whatever. But if they suggest something that's like positive or that's good, I'm not gonna be like, well, yo, you ain't whatever, so you can't say that. Cause like, how do you know I don't want to be a donator to it? But like, if you tell me, well, you like just shut up and mind your business, you know, like that's why I like, yo,
I think that young lady comment bothered you last night.
No, it didn't. I just disagree with those 2 points, and you did too, Bakari, because you would say.
I agree with what she said.
You agree that HBCUs is not Black culture. You
didn't listen
That's
to
her.
whole thing.
But I only disagree with her comments, though.
But you didn't listen. That's what I'm saying. You didn't hear the whole comment.
But I said I felt where she was coming from. I'm
saying what I'm saying is like what she said was, she said it used to be Black culture. It's not anymore because y'all, and she was literally talking to people in the chat who went to white universities. She said used to be Black culture. It's not anymore because y'all don't like it and y'all don't want to go. So it's not your culture. She was literally talking. So how can Jackson State culture be for the Black people at Ole Miss? It's not their culture. Jackson State culture, Grambling culture is not for the people at LSU. Norfolk State culture is not for the people at Old Dominion. It is not. If you go to Old Dominion, you have no right to come to Norfolk State and say, this is what y'all are doing wrong. You don't.
But Bakari, and this is the thing, like I said, I felt where she was coming from, bro. But like, she is like you even said is a microcosm of our communities. And like, yo, like for me, like if I say something, you be like, yo, I'm against it. No, I would only want my children to go to HBCUs. That's my point. Like you don't know that like they're encouraging their children or whatever. But like, yo, when she's saying that, like, yo, like she literally said that, you know, it's two separate things. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that mindset of even coming from that it's two different things.
She was talking to people in the chat who was agreeing, saying Jackson State band should be at Colorado. That's okay because it's Black people culture. It's not forecast.
I agree with that point.
But that's why I'm letting you know that's who she was talking to. But she was literally talking to those people.
But she was saying, yo, like Bakari, she literally said, like, yo, Black culture haven't protected anything. It's the same thing with the. All I'm saying is I disagree with her separation of it. Like she's acting like HBCUs is different from Black culture. I agree. I felt where she was coming from. That's why I kept saying I feel where she's coming from. But I still disagree with even the mentality of separate, like, because I'll be like, yo, we don't protect anything. We need to start protecting like you do. You're not going to sit here and say, well, you know, that's a separate thing from Black culture. You say, well, Black people don't want to protect Black culture because you know it's not a separate thing. And she was coming from a totally different mindset than you come from. You know what I'm saying? I think.
Yeah, but those people in the chat that was from UCLA, USC, Colorado, Penn State, Oregon, who should know HBCU, she don't have the right to tell them this is not your culture. because that's who she was talking to. That's what she was talking to them.
No, Bakari, but yo,
But she was talking to
I'm
them.
included, Bakari, because you like yo, because if I say something about a teacher talking about like Marxism in the HBCU, I'm against that particular thing. But
I'm saying, I don't think they
have the
teach
right
that.
to say that.
I don't think they teach it in class. I don't think they teach it in class. I'm against that.
Bakari, like if you look on the joint, like even in the African American, because I studied the thing, like just trying to look up like history courses, they teach from like especially the W.E. Du Bois kind of mindset. Bakari, they like kind of teach a W.E. Du Bois almost kind of curriculum-ish kind of thing. Like if you pay attention in the African American studies part, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about like the doctor's program or nothing like that.
No, I'm saying I was talking about okay, I'm gonna say it like this. If they teach that there, like they say I know people that said they don't teach like about Marxism at Jackson State. Maybe that's that instructor. And
yeah,
I don't agree with Marxism. I don't think that should be taught, especially somebody who's talking about socialists and should nothing be done to make money, but then turn around and sell a book to make money.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If I say like, yo, I'm saying the brother is at Morgan State, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I show like, yo, there was a professor at UCLA at a white school. I talked about that also. He was a black professor of African American studies talking about, you know, race is just a social construct, and they leave so much of history out. And like,
what school he was at?
He was at UCLA, a white school.
Oh yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But watch this forecast. So if you say she was wrong, right? So that means Dion is right with what he's doing.
Wait, who was wrong?
That young lady. So that means Dion.
No, I'm just saying I just disagree with the.
So do you agree with Dion? Do you agree with Dion?
No, Dion tripping.
By asking for the ban, by asking for everything from HBCU to go to Colorado.
No, Deion Sanders is tripping, but that's one point, Bakari.
The point I'm making is those are the people she was talking to. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. She wasn't talking to people like you. She wasn't talking to people like in our chat. She was literally talking to people in that chat.
I agree with you, but I still disagree with her mindset of even where she's coming from, because I know you wouldn't answer the question like that's two separate things. Like HBCUs is different from us. You know what I'm saying? Like I know you wouldn't.
It is different from Dion. It's different from them. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand who she was talking to.
But is it different from everything in black culture? That's what she said. She said, name one thing in black culture that, because don't name us. I don't think that I disagree with that point, because I think that the same thing has happened to them that's happened to every aspect. That's all I said. I just disagree with her point. But I feel.
Yeah, but I'm just letting you know who she was talking to, who she was literally talking to. And I should have played that out so you would know who. If I had played from the beginning, then you would have known who she was talking to. But I only played and let her words play. But if I had played the whole thing, you would have known, like the guy that was hosting the show, the lady that was on there with him, then when they came on, you would have known that she was talking to a specific group of people.
Right. I mean, and I disagree. Like, they've been trying to make the Beach Boys sound like the Temptations since, back then,
Forever. They still gonna do it.
Right. And they can't do it. They never will be able to do that. And, and I disagree with, because Dion was sitting up there laughing, chuckling, talking about, you played all of that. I disagree with Dion.
Yeah, I know. And that's what I should have played the whole thing, because she was talking to a select group. If I had played the whole thing and you would have heard them talking to the chat, then you would have known exactly who she was talking to.
But I feel you. But I'm saying, Bakari, I disagree with that. I still just disagree.
So she couldn't tell. So she couldn't tell Dion he's an outsider.
But that's what I'm saying, Bakari. Before he got the job, if you say he was an outsider, people would be like, "Yo, no, you can't say that." Like, no. Like anybody who because there might be somebody who's an outsider who become a coach and don't do what Dion did. Like Dion had to. Right. So what if she be like, "Yo, you a damn outsider. Shut up, Eddie George. You don't get no say." Like that's what I'm saying. I disagree.
But that's what I'm saying. But the people at the HBCUs, they speak very high of Eddie George. They don't see Eddie George the same as Dion. And that's what I'm talking about. They are
But that's what I'm saying. Before Dion had a track record of some coon and stuff, but I would still support him that he came to the. And the other brother was like, "Yo, he's the outsider," and he turned out to be right. But I still would disagree with that because like you gonna get burnt. But we didn't look at his track record of the coon and stuff.
I don't agree with just off the rip calling a black person an outsider. You understand? Like. Most of my family went to HBCUs. All of them didn't. My nephews that graduated from Mississippi State, are they outsiders? No. My friends I know that didn't go to an HBCU, are they an outsider? No, they are not an outsider. People go lots of time close to home. People go because this school was able to give them, or sometimes they go because this white university offer their major in an HBCU don't. So no, they are not an out. See, I don't just call black people an outsider because I don't think we're outsiders for black culture. But that dude, I'm gonna tell you this: that dude and them people that was in that barbershop that prompted my video the other day, they are absolute outsiders. And those are the people that was talking. I would tell people at an HBCU, don't talk to them about nothing. And I'm being honest, I would. I would, as a matter of fact, not just that. I would tell any black person that has gone to college, don't talk to them about nothing. Because they weren't just mad at an HBCU. They was actually mad at every black person going to college. Don't nobody need to go to school to be no doctor no more. Man, being a doctor and being a lawyer, that shit old. What kind of sense that made?
Now, I'm trying to think of somebody. I can't think of nobody good enough right now. But let's just say Muggsy Bogues, right? He went, I don't know what school he went to, right? Now, he went to HBCU, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what he would do there, you know what I'm saying? But right now, if he had an opinion about something like, because I think that sister would say he's an outsider. I don't think you would say that. That's why I disagree.
I don't think Muggsy Bogues, if Muggsy Bogues had an opinion, Muggsy Bogues probably knows something. He from Maryland. So he probably knows something. Like, I'm going to say it like this. Have you ever heard me call Jay Williams an outsider? And he even married to a white woman. You ever heard me call him an outsider?
But if he was saying stuff against HBCUs, people would though.
No, but well, some people probably would, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't, right? And I'm telling you, the people I deal with,
right? I agree with you though. I don't agree with her. I think she would. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't. Well, I'm gonna tell you, she seemed younger than me, and they take that stuff dear to heart. I'm gonna tell you. My son would probably call him an outsider.
Right. And look, if Deion Sanders had stayed, he would have been an outsider, but he would have done something great. All I'm saying is you just look at different traits. Like he had a history of saying some suspect stuff. Like if LaDainian Tomlinson, like didn't he go to a HBCU?
No, he went to TCU. It's amazing how HBCUs was trying to get people to hire him. They was asking other schools that looking for a coach to reach out to LaDainian Thomas, the alums from certain schools. I'm like, what the hell for what? What y'all want him for?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he would be an outsider, because we already know what's up with LaDainian.
No, he's a real outsider.
But if it was Muggsy Bogues, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think she would still be like, yo, you don't get that. But he could come there and do some great things like, yo, this is Muggsy Bogues. I'm coming to play under Muggsy Bogues. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he's an outsider, though.
But this is the thing, like Mo Williams, who coached at Jackson State now. And it's could because he's from Jackson, too. But he went to Alabama. He's never been called an outsider.
Right,
He's never been called, but he went to the University of Alabama. They have never called him an outsider. Let me tell you somebody else, Chris Paul, who played at Wake Forest. I recently found out that he graduated from Winston-Salem State. But Chris Paul, he was never called an outsider. Even though he didn't go, when he spoke of it, he spoke with respect. So wasn't nobody mad? Okay, he went to Wake Forest, but he was never called an outsider. People that go to HBCU love I'm telling you, she was literally talking to a certain group of people for real.
Yeah, I feel you, Bakari. I don't think that she was. I think, and I'm not mad at her.
And I'm going by what she said. I'm going by because I saw the chat. You see what I'm saying?
I feel you, Bakari, but I think that you can kind of tell what her mindset was. And I'm not mad at the sister or shit. I'm not even trying to condemn her like, oh, she said some evil stuff or nothing like that. I'm not even saying that. I just disagree with those just 2 points. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because HBCU in Black culture, the drums and all that, that's us.
Right. It's not.
But she also said that Black people created HBCU culture. And it did, because it's all us. Everything about it, Black people created out of necessity of who we were.
And you can't act like that's the one thing that got protected when all of everything else is suffering the same thing.
Actually, she talking about protect. Well, actually, they talking about protecting the band. They want to protect that if they ain't protect nothing else. If we ain't protecting nothing else, don't give them the damn band. But I'm gonna tell you something. That haven't been protected either. I found out. You know why?
That's what I'm saying.
Want me to tell you why?
What's that?
A long time ago, they said Ohio State, and I want to say it was either Penn State or Michigan, paid Southern and Grambling to help their band. Now, not to come do no HBCU stuff. They did not try to get no HBCU culture. They paid them to help make their band better. They didn't do like what Dion talking about, make it an HBCU thing. They didn't do that. That's not what they were doing. But they did help. They got paid to help their band, to help make their band better.
Yeah, I mean, they all they could do is give them better equipment, but you know.
Yeah, but you know, they can't do what HBCU do, and they don't try. And I don't. Dion lost his ever loving mind, thinking Colorado could do what Jackson State or Alcorn or Norfolk State, North Carolina A&T, North Carolina Central, Albany State, Tennessee State, Fort Valley State, Mississippi. What they could do what any of those bands do.
And Bakari, and that's the thing. And you don't think that there's no HBCU students that agree with Dion?
Do I think it's some? Yeah, because it's celebrity worship. Yeah, you'll find some that agree.
That's all I'm saying. Like, it's not different though. Like, you know, that's just me. I don't think she was
my son say out of their whole crew, they had one. They had one. He ain't part of the crew no more on the campus.
Right. But yeah, man, like well, I know Bakari. Well, I guess we'll get into
I just felt she was talking to those select group of people because I watched it and in what the chat was saying and how people, and even the other guy, Jeff Lightsey, right? The guy that was doing the thing, they'll never call him an outsider. Now, he called himself an outsider because he went to the University of Louisville. And he was talking, he said the only reason he started covering HBCUs was because of Dion. And he said, but since he started covering, he don't want to cover anything else. But they don't call him he say he called himself an outsider, but he always show how when he went to an HBCU game, mainly Jackson State, because he went because he started covering it because of Dion. And he was like, but don't care which games he went to, how HBCUs, how they accepted him and welcomed him, and they never called him an outsider. And he went to the University of Louisville. HBCU students and everybody is always on his channel.
Now, Bakari, let me ask you this, right? Because like most of my friends that like, you know, I went to school with, you know what I'm saying, they all went to like Virginia State, most of them, you know what I'm saying? A few of them went to Virginia Union. But most people actually went to Virginia State, you know. And
which one you close to?
I'm close to Virginia Union.
Virginia Union, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm like right there, like it's like right beside me, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I know a lot of people that went there, to HBCUs, and they just had the and I go to well, I didn't go as many as I wanted to, but I go to Virginia Union games instead of VCU games, you know what I'm saying? So I spend my money there. You know, I personally didn't go, but like, would I be an outsider on that?
No, why would you be an outsider?
Well, because I said something negative about HBCU.
No, but see, it ain't the fact whether you said something negative or not, but you ain't sitting there agreeing that, yeah, Jackson State band should be in Colorado. That's why I was talking about that thing. Well, I'm just still talking about that. But no, you're not an outsider. But I will tell you what some of them would ask you. They would ask you how you know. And then they would say, let me explain. But I'm going to tell you something. You see how we had this conversation? When I'm in the barbershop, this is how I have to deal with, this is how I'm always, even in the barbershop, I'm defending black women against black men just sitting there shitting on. Then I turn into defending black men against black women like, God damn. But then I got some couple black women, especially, get mad with me for taking up for black women. He ain't lying. Some of these hoes, they ain't nothing. I'm dead serious.
Right.
So sometimes I feel like shit, defending black folks isn't a lost cause. Because when I defend HBCUs, I'm really not just defending a university system. I'm defending black people.
I feel you, Bakari. And that's what I'm saying. Like, but we can still point out, like, yo, we don't like this about other aspects of black people.
I absolutely agree they need to be called out. I absolutely agree that they need to be called out. I will absolutely agree that some things, not that it's outdated, it's just that some things, like even, like the state of Mississippi, right? They have something called IHL. That's who hire the presidents for all of the universities in Mississippi, right? That's who help with, so none truly. So the guy was explaining how how the HBCUs could have more control. It was like it have to do something with money, the donors. He was explaining it. I don't understand, but like Jackson State president was fired yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Delta State, which is a white school in Mississippi, about 45, about 50 miles, 60 miles from where I'm from, right? I've seen their campuses several times. It's nowhere from me, right? Their president was fired back in October amidst a scandal, right? Nobody even knew he was fired. The only way we knew he was fired because somebody put in the chat last night that, hey, look, my alma mater, Delta State. He said, I'm a JSU fan, but I went to Delta State. He explained why he went to Delta State, and he's from Mississippi, but he would say he grew up a JSU fan. He said, man, our president was fired and nobody even knew. And that's what I'm talking about. Jackson State president was fired. Within 30 minutes, it was at least 10 different YouTube channels doing videos, making up stuff. Oh, this is why he was fired. Oh, this proved Deion was right. Deion vindicated. This proved he was stealing. They have no idea why he was fired. I have no idea either, but they have no idea. They didn't even remember me and you was talking about his vote of no confidence, right? Remember we were talking about that?
Yeah.
They didn't even know that he had a unanimous vote of no confidence months ago. Because they didn't see the direction he was supposed to have been taking in school or whatever. The university had their own senate, whatever it's called, in the faculty. But he wasn't the only person fired. There was a couple of faculty members fired. But as soon as it happened, this is an opportunity to some one guy just doing it, just laughing. He need to be fired. This proved Deion right, good for that N-word. So now it's more within 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes. So now this is our opportunity to take a shit on an HBCU. And she's supposed to stand up and say, y'all outsiders. Y'all don't know. Y'all didn't even ask because their whole goal, I'm going to shit on this because I can get me some YouTube views. But nobody even knew. Everybody asked the dude was like, damn, when did Delta State president get fired? Nobody even knew. It never even went public. That's a white school. It never went public.
Yeah, I feel you, Bakari. And let me say this because I know it's already, and I'll let you say this, and then I'll move on. I just, my only thing about it, I would say that in HBCUs, just like I wish in all aspects of our thing, not from HBCUs to the bottom to the top, even in our homes and just with ourselves, that we update a lot more of our information. And I think that in certain let's just say in the areas of influence or power within our structures, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of remnants of the integration mindset within those institutions and in those structures. And I could name like certain professors and stuff like this, and you have to have a certain thing. But I think that I just disagree with that. And I think that is certain remnants of the not just integration, but radical integration mindset is still lingering in there. You know what I'm saying? And I think that gives a foul odor to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think about that?
I think we have to deal with people to see if that's actually the truth. Then you have to see if that give a foul odor to people. Maybe those people are the radical integrationists because they run to a white school. I'm just saying, who run to integrate? So if you run to a white school, you can't say, oh yeah, they had a radical integration mindset. That's why I went to this white school. So who literally had the integrationist mindset?
No, nobody's saying go to the white school. We saying
no, but you say what I said about what I said was I say the people that's running to the white schools, those are the ones with the integrationist mindset.
I agree with that point. But
they are the ones. They are the ones with the radical integration mind point, with the mindset.
Well, I'm saying you're right about that, but also you're right. So they're probably whatever, but we don't want the radical integration.
And watch this. Not all of them have a radical integration mind. I'm saying every black person that goes to a white university don't have a radical integration mindset.
Right. As I know why you brought them up. I know.
No, but I'm just saying. No, I say they would be the ones that I would say more of a radical integration mindset because they went to integrate. But I would say most of them, I wouldn't say most, some of them don't have. I would say majority have. But
you want me to name because I'm not saying the whole institution and everybody that go there. I'm just saying I think
I said you're gonna be able to name some people. But see, this is the thing. Let me show you something, right? If you study the history of HBCU, they couldn't say white people couldn't go to their school. So they always had to welcome everybody.
Right. But Bakari, it's a microcosm of all of us, Bakari, because I think I can't believe it's 2023 and this is still happening kind of mindset and the infrastructure. And I think is no disrespect to because it's two different parts of back then. You know what I'm saying? There was the John Lewis mindset and the other mindset. And I just think that a lot of that kind of is still there.
Wait a minute. What was John Lewis' mindset?
It's okay. You could beat us, you know what I'm saying? Just accept us and love us, you know what I'm saying? I am a man. And they was on the he was on the freedom rides and stuff like that, but it was
but that's why people like that is propped up. So yeah, you might meet some people that love that. Because we love people that white folks done propped up.
Right. That's all I'm saying. I just think that those and because the revolutionary teachers that do exist, some of them do feel like handcuffed, you know what I'm saying? You can't say certain things or teach certain lessons. But I see I'm not gonna lie, when I just look through it, you know what I'm saying? You heard of the dude Greg Carr before?
Yeah.
Yeah, he I think a lot of them teach from a W.E. Du Bois kind of mindset, you know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. You know, I don't think that you should teach from any kind of personal opinions. You should teach the history, at least in the first course. And maybe you can get into people's literature, but I think once you start getting into certain ideologies, you start getting twisted before you get the history of it, in my opinion. So,
but think about this forecast, the woman the other day who said Booker T. Washington was around and let people do the syphilis experiment, right? People in her chat was agreeing with that. What the hell? So this gonna be the person disseminating information?
No,
and don't know what the hell they talking about?
No, but they wouldn't be in that institution. But I don't think that but I don't think that person would be in that position though.
No, I ain't talking about in that position to tell nobody nothing at the school. I'm talking about disseminate information out here on the streets or in YouTube.
Well, yeah, you can't stop that. Anybody can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't.
And yeah, people gonna listen to it. She did a video today with y'all motherfuckers talking about me.
Oh no, I didn't even see that. I didn't even see it today. But you know, that's all I'm saying, Bukari. But yo,
look, you know, I don't mind, and I get glad. I'm glad when the coons are caught. Shit, because if we don't deal with the coons, we ain't gonna ever get no better.
Right, but that don't mean you gotta have to go there to call them out though, either.
But how you gonna know what's going on though?
Come on, Bukari. Like
I'm just asking, literally, how you gonna know what's going on?
So you know what's going on at every HBCU out there. Like, no, like you may like know at specifically Jackson State, but you know what's going on at other places. How do you know? Like, just like how I know what's going on at Jackson State. Like, yo, I get what you're saying about putting the people who are because these is black people who do this about every single thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get your point on that, you know. And I agree with calling them out just the same, you know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is just that, you know, it's okay to, well, you could call out that issue, you know what I'm saying? That's all.
But what I'm saying is most people talking don't know what the hell they talking about. They're just repeating something that they heard. That's the point. That's the point. That's the point that I'm making.
That's
Remember,
true,
I went through the video showing, and we were talking, and I showed the what is it? The tuition at HBCU.
Right.
And I compared it to the tuition at the white schools in the same state.
Yeah.
And remember how much more expensive the white schools were. But you know what the myth is?
What's that?
HBCUs cost way more money to go to than white schools. That's the myth. And a lot of people repeat that.
No,
and haven't studied and looked it up.
Nah, yeah, it's way more expensive. Like,
now I can tell you this, like, and this is like here in Georgia, they have something called a Hope Grant, Hope Scholarship, right? You have to maintain a certain GPA. And then you can go to college. When you go to the college, you get into the college, they're supposed to pay for everything, right? I literally knew 2 students that wanted to go to HBCUs. You know why they couldn't afford to go? Because the Hope Scholarship in Georgia would only pay partial tuition for an HBCU. And they couldn't afford, the parents said they couldn't afford to have them down at Savannah State away, right? And sometimes it gets like that. That's understandable. So they came back, transferred to Georgia State. One transferred to Georgia State. The other one transferred to Kennesaw State, right? Once they went to white schools, the scholarship paid full tuition. Paid for every. Now, it's supposed to do it at the HBCUs. See, and that's another reason I don't beat them up. That's another reason I don't just search for negative, because I know ain't nothing perfect. Because when we do it all the time, and I ain't talking about you, and you know the type of people I'm talking about. When we do it all the time, we fighting ourselves, just like in the community. We gonna find all the negative stuff, like the people coming, oh, you know, the Pookie and Ray Ray and Bum Quisha. As if that's everybody in the community, right? But we never talk about the people that created the problem. But if you have a system where your Hope Scholarship and Hope Grant is supposed to pay for everything, right? Why didn't it pay for everything at Savannah State, Fort Valley State, Albany State? You see what I'm saying? But it paid for everything at Georgia State and Kennesaw State.
Yeah, I feel you, Bukari. But you know, that goes to my point, because like, that's why I'm like, I go out of the way not to like debate or try to disrespect or go. I'd rather for other people to come on so I can say what I want to say. You know, so I go out the way not to do that. And I know you're not talking. I agree with the people that you're calling out, but I also think that I would get thrown in the same boat. Like, once I say that, I see this at a, like, if I was to sit there and talk about certain instances, you know what I'm saying? Like I have been called, like saying I've been going against HBCUs. Like, yeah, I'm against like a white person being a official or somebody who could determine who comes to a school or in a certain position. Like, and I get that you have to do such and such, but you don't have to put them in certain positions. And like, I think that as just like all Black people, like just like I call it out on everything else, like everything else that we love, like we go above and beyond because we love everything and everybody. And I don't think it's no different at HBCUs, Bakari, that it's like, yo, we love everybody. That's just like a Black
Well, I agree.
thing.
But you know why I don't play that game saying do this and do certain people shouldn't do this and do that? Even at a Black business, like I tell people, I don't play that business saying I won't hire a white person, I won't do this, won't do that. You know why? Who do most of our people work for? And they're proud to go there.
No, I'm not. That's not what I said.
Let me show you what I mean. I know you're talking about. So then when they get to this person is at an HBCU and this white person or whatever have this much control, then look how proud we are. Oh, this is the first Black person to do this at that HBCU. This is the first Black person to, not at an HBCU, at this white school. Oh, this white school just made a Black person the president. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, yo, yeah, definitely. That's why I don't talk about the white. I'm saying don't go to those schools. That's what I'm trying to keep saying. Like I don't understand. Like if you going like not even listen, like for the people in the positions, you know what I'm saying? If you don't even listen to the people that you're trying to recruit, just like yo, like baseball, they like put out a thing like, why don't you watch us? You know what I'm saying, for the people, and then they took a survey. And they chose the things that they wanted to go with or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you can like put out a forum to listen. It don't mean you're changing your stuff. You know what I'm saying? But if I say something about I just disagree with this person on this issue, it don't mean that they're yo, I feel you, Bobby. And I was, you know, and I feel you, you know what I'm saying? But you know, like Dr. Jared Ball, like if I call out specific things, and I personally have a kind of issue towards Black history because I feel like, yo, even like, why should I know? Like, besides like Bobby, I know Bobby is like the only one I'll probably feel comfortable saying crush me on like Black American history anyway. Like all of y'all crush me on like ancient history, but like on Black American history, I only give Bobby that. But I shouldn't be able to say that because all HBCU students should be able to, and that's just my opinion. It's just because I feel like that about history. So I want the curriculum and the courses to like be more towards but I want everything in our thing and our whatever to be towards that end. And I'm only saying that because like I'm also saying, yo, go to the HBCUs. Let's put our money towards the HBCUs. Let's support them. Like if I have children, I'm a push them. I can't make them do anything, but I can push them towards HBCUs. Like I'm gonna support them. I'm gonna watch them on TV. I don't watch sports except for HBCUs. Like the next time somebody come to an HBCU and Bakari pushing it up, I'm gonna join you and be on that. But at the same time, like I'm gonna still listen. Like yo, I feel like yo, like this certain aspect, I don't know about that, or this I don't know about that.
But most people be talking, man. They just be talking. Most people be talking just going on what they heard somebody else say on YouTube. Because when you ask them how they know, because it's the same thing the other dude was saying the other day. I said, man, how you know? I read too. I said, okay, but where you read it at? How you know? What you read? I said, dude, you repeating YouTube. Yeah, I heard people on social media talking. And that becomes the problem. Like they don't know and they ain't trying to know. I'm going to just hear this one thing and then anything somebody else say is automatically wrong, especially if they're saying something positive about it. That's what becomes the problem.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I just disagree that if I say something that like could be taken as a criticism, because I think it's constructive criticism, but I don't think it's right to be like, yo, I can't have an opinion on it because I'm encouraging people to go. I would want to put my money, but I would definitely send my children to there. Like, I should be able to say something. My friends have been there. I've heard stories like, but just because I didn't go doesn't mean like I'm hating on him or like, you know, the first time that I criticize him, you know.
Yeah, but anybody who say they agree with Deion in the bands should be there and should be teaching them so Deion can have that coach in Colorado. They don't have an opinion. Their opinion don't matter. And that's why I keep telling you that's who she was talking to. That's literally who she was talking to.
Yeah.
She was talking. It was 1,000 people in that chat. And I'm willing to bet you, at least half of them was saying that.
But I'm saying though, Bakari, that's my point though. Like you don't think Shannon Sharp was saying that? He had HBCU still. Stephen A. Smith, like this not an HBCU, not HBCU. It's kind of like
you know, Shannon Sharp switched up after he talked to Eddie George and Chad Johnson. You know, he been lying lately, right? Oh, you look what he told you, because he had. Oh, you didn't know?
Nah, I ain't had it.
I'm gonna have to send it to you. Because he asked Chad Johnson, and Chad Johnson said one thing that he do regret was he didn't go to an HBCU, and once he went, you know, he was retired, but once he went and saw that culture, because I think he basically kind of like he spent a lot of time at FAMU because he's from Florida, right?
Right. Yeah, he be bigging them up all the time.
Yeah, he go there a lot. He go there and practice with the team a lot. He ain't trying to coach, but he really go practice with the team and talk to the students. Because, you know, they say he the cheapest superstar in history. They say that man, he saved 85% of his NFL money. 85% of it. He said he never bought a real diamond for himself. He said, but anyway, and after he was bigging up at HBCU and didn't go, Shannon said, yeah, shit, I wouldn't change my experience for nothing. Man, going to an HBCU, man, that's the best time I had in my life. I'm like, Shannon, ain't you the same person?
Right.
Hey, so you can't say Shannon Sharp no more.
No, I'm saying like he supported Deion Sanders though.
I'm just clowning. I'm just talking about how he switch up.
Oh no, yeah, he definitely be switching up all the time.
Shannon Sharp, I wouldn't change that experience for nothing.
Yeah, and Bobby boy, Jared Ball or whatever his name is. I think Dr.
But
Jared
you know
Ball.
who he didn't support though? You know who he didn't support?
Who that?
Ed Reed.
Who, Shannon Sharp?
Yep, and you know the one who I did support, even though he said all his stuff publicly, because he was going at the right people at Bethune. When he first said it, I said something, but then after I just followed him. Then I realized Ed Reed was actually genuine, and he wasn't trying to be an asshole. I started supporting Ed Reed. I say he should have done it differently, but he got CTE. He don't think he know how to do it differently. But Ed Reed was actually genuine. He should have waited and got them people in check. But he got some people at the top who bowing down to other people who was going to be in his way. But Ed Reed, I support Ed Reed. I support Ed Reed. He was telling the truth about that damn Reggie Theus and whoever that damn interim president is at Bethune-Cookman. I don't think Ed Reed was lying. That's why he kept calling their names about who saying certain things to him. And that's why they wanted him, and that's why they wanted to stop Ed Reed. Ed Reed called, as some people say, the Boule. Real say Ed Reed called the Boule name. But I supported Ed Reed. I did that one video and I talked about him because I thought it was folk. Then I started following Ed Reed. Like, damn, Ed Reed was really genuine. And he still talked to the students today. And they can still call him now. He said, I'm going to help y'all with anything. He said, what y'all supposed to do? Every morning, what y'all do? The first thing we do, coach, we go pick up trash. This ain't even just the football players. We keep our campus clean, take pride in who we are, take pride in our campus. Why you take pride? You never forget who we are. Don't forget where we come from. And always remember Miss Bethune. She put her all in this. So we got to keep it going for her. Ed Reed literally was genuine. Ed Reed just got CTE. But I believe Ed Reed. So I supported Ed Reed. Even with the crazy stuff he said, I supported Ed Reed.
Yeah, I think so. I think like you said, I wouldn't have I wouldn't have told them to go on the thing first thing if you didn't approach the people and talk to them, and then if they didn't listen, then I might would have did what he did. I agree with you, but like you said, we was talking earlier about that. You can't play in the NFL or be boxing without some kind of trauma or whatever. But
I supported him.
And that's what I'm saying is that elite stuff, and that he even called out. That's the only thing that we calling out. And like he would, in some cases, some people will call him an outsider too, because he came in there and then left, and then they be like, oh, well, now you calling it out, but you were outsider, so you don't know what's up. Some people even use that against him. So that's what
what? I'm gonna tell you something. Most people did until they followed him on Instagram. Most people that followed Ed, because people started following Ed Reed, most people that followed Ed Reed after that changed their mind about people that have done shows, changed their mind about Ed Reed.
Yeah, I felt like he was official the whole time. I just disagreed of trying to, because you could tell he was mad for real. He was mad, I don't think he had the control of it, but he should have just kept it in-house as much as he could. And if he couldn't control it, whatever.
All HBCs, now he was wrong for that. O'Shaughnessy show, Rambling State and our prayer review and Alcorn, probably worse than that. No, it ain't. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about. So then when they say that and you follow him, yeah, he genuine. But it almost like, what's his name? Who come on here? First right when I say his name, because he'll still come through. I eventually get. I ain't trying to change nobody, but I eventually get it. But anyway, but when you can only see the negative all the time, see, they only gonna talk about the Pookie and Ray Ray and the drug dealers and all that, and you're gonna do good if you get away, right? The difference between them and Ed Reed saw all that stuff, but he saw value in the children, and he saw value in holding up Miss Bethune name. He saw value in that.
And by the way, she was more famous than Martin Luther King before Martin Luther King got famous.
Yeah, but he saw value in that, and since he saw value in that, and I started following like, wow, but he got CTE. Because Ed Reed can be holding a conversation like this, then cuss everybody out, then go right back to talking like this.
Yeah. So and Bakari, we'll finish it, the HBC thing. Let's close out with one last thing, because I wanted to show other things, but I'm gonna show one last thing, Bakari. So we're gonna close out one last thing and get your last opinion with the close out. And this is kind of left field, Bakari. I see you seen this Idris Elba's thing. He said the HBCUs thing, and I'm just joking. I'm joking, bro. But all right, so he said he's gonna stop calling himself a black actor.
And his reasons behind pursuing an entertainment career. In an interview with Esquire magazine, the star said, "I stopped describing myself as a black actor when I realized it put me in a box." Elba explained, "As humans, we're obsessed with race, and that obsession can really hinder people's aspirations, hinder people's growth. Racism should be a topic for discussion, sure. Racism is very real. But from my perspective, it's only as powerful as you allow it to be." The actor said that he gets asked a lot if he's experienced racism, which he clarified that he has, but that he doesn't go to my black friends in conversation and ask them to tell me about racism. When talking about why he chose a career in entertainment, the prolific actor explained that he didn't become an actor because I didn't see black people doing it and I wanted to change that. I did it because I thought that's a great profession and I could do a good job at it. Elba continued, "As you get up the ladder, you get asked what it's like to be the first black to do this or that. Well, it's the same as it would be if I were white. It's the first time for me. I don't want to be the first black. I'm the first Idris." As for representation in Hollywood, he said he, in many cases, is the first to look like him to do a certain thing. That's good to leave as part of my legacy so that other people, black kids, but also white kids growing up in the circumstances I grew up in, are able to see there was a kid who came from Canning Town who ended up doing what I do. It can be done. For more on this story, hit to TH.
Damn, Bakari, you hear your boy talking over here?
Boy, how you go? The more money you make. Oh shit! The more money you make. But you know what though? I know you don't remember, but you heard of John Thompson, who was the coach of Georgetown, right? Basketball coach. when they asked him when he won a national championship, when they asked him, how does it feel to be the first African American head coach to win a national championship in basketball? John Thompson told him, don't ask me about being on first African American, because that's an indication that I'm the only one that's been good enough. It's now, if Idris Elba had kept it strong like John Thompson say that's an indication that y'all think I was the only one that was good enough. It's been plenty of black coaches before me that was better. They just didn't get an opportunity. So I'm not the first because all of them with me.
He just said, I didn't do it for black kids. I didn't do it for black kids. I did it for white kids and everybody.
See if he had kept it real like John Thompson, but he couldn't do like John Thompson. He could not do like John Thompson.
Now I'm gonna access some in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's some of that. I ain't even gonna say it, regard.
What do that guy say that you agree with, Eggs?
I think he gonna say that that British energy. British black people is different too, Bukhari. Let's be real now. They still black people. They still my brothers, but
he wouldn't even like that when he was when he first started getting on. That's why I say the more money you make, you switch up a little bit.
Yo, all right. So check this out, Bukhari.
Man, but look, but watch this. Don't that sound like something we'll say? See when they say they agree with. Come on, how many black people from the United States will say it's for everybody?
A lot. I know this is a cultural. I think this is the thing that connects us out this.
That's crazy. What'd you say? That's one of the connectors.
Yeah, if you want to say what black people got in common is so you will get black people defending some white people, boy. I tell you.
Yeah, and that's what he did. He defended and when Tariq say they're the smartest people on earth and they run the whole universe, shit, what's the difference?
Yo, but check it out, Bukhari. This is some British news here. You know what I'm saying? Well, Australian, but this is some British news from a British black woman, a sister. Yeah, beautiful sister.
All under such pressure now to define ourselves by race, particularly, of course, if you are black.
Well, I was very grateful that he stated the obvious and he stated the point that we've been trying to make for basically decades, that your race is just the color of your skin and that it shouldn't define you. I would like to point out that it's someone of his status and his recognition that can say something like this. I feel like a black actor saying something like this at the beginning of his career would absolutely not have a future in the industry, because many people read it as he was being anti-black, but he was making the point that he is black, he is proud to be black, but the point is his race is just the color of his skin, and it shouldn't have to invade aspects of his life, like his career, for instance. I make the point that why would someone say I'm a gay nurse? What does being gay have to do with being a nurse, right? But we make identity politics so important and so central to our lives that him saying something like this really rattled people.
So I guess being black and being gay is the same thing. I'm not sure what that meant.
No, I'm gonna tell you something, folks. Now I'm gonna play devil advocate for a second, because I heard a baseball player say this along. Forget who it was. It was a black pitcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they talk about how good he is, they will always mention that he's a black pitcher. He said, why y'all don't just call me a pitcher? Y'all act like what he said. I can't. Y'all saying I'm good. See, this is what he said. He said, y'all keep calling me a black pitcher. And when y'all mention me being good, he's a black pitcher. What y'all are saying is he said, this is how he took it. Y'all saying I'm good for a black pitcher. Y'all not saying that I'm really good. So if I'm a good pitcher, just say I'm a good pitcher. Because he say, according to I'm gonna let you know who it was tomorrow. But he say to him that was an insult, because he say he didn't take that as them saying he was good. He took it as them saying he good for a black person.
Yeah, that's how they said it. But we are saying, yeah, we need representation. I am proud to be black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And, now I'm just talking about that picture, right? So and he was talking to them. So what if Idris Elba meant it like that?
Well, But the problem is, it sounded a little bit more like Josh Gibson and Satchel Paige. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a black pitcher, you know what I'm saying? I can go to the major leagues and prove that I can pitch there because I'm just like, when I look at it, I'm like, yo, when I say you're a black pitcher, like, I gotta take the bar down when you look at an all-white league. If you think of an all-white NBA and an all-black NBA, I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm pretty sure the athleticism and the talent.
The all white gonna win. All white gonna win.
I don't know. I put money on the black team.
But
that's all. That's all I think. I think he meant that on. See, that's what I'm saying. Satchel Paige was like, "Yeah, I'm not just a black pitcher in the Negro leagues. Let me go to the major league and show that I'm good enough to be James Bond and so." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, look, I understand what you're saying, but like that one pitcher say, and I'm gonna get his name. He said he took that as an insult because they was only saying they thought he was good for black. He wasn't good. He wasn't the best. He wasn't the best pitcher. He's just the best black pitcher. Like, that's the only thing they say about him. He's a good black pitcher. Or like Warren Moon, he was good, but they always had to say being black. So being like, he wasn't a good quarterback, but he was a good black quarterback. You see what I'm saying? So that's how he say he took it. And I would see, I could have stood with Idris Elba if he had just stopped there. But then when he started talking about the white people that grew up in his circumstances and so on and so forth, I'm like, God damn. So you can't stand for it.
Well, yo, all right. So listen to this sister. So all right, you trying to cape for the sister though. I saw we know Idris Elba is wrong, but you still trying to keep hope alive for the sister. She is pretty, but you know.
Wanted him to toe a different line. And I think that's quite sad and disappointing. But I'm glad that he stated this fact because it's the truth. I also need to make the point that, if you put yourself in the box as a black actor, then the only roles you can get are roles suited to black actors, right? And that, again, that is detrimental to any sort of progress, regardless of what the perspective you take on it.
Now, ain't that something? You only stuck to roles for black actors. Black people could be like fathers, they could be like superheroes, they could be like doctors, they could be a black actor, a role for a black actor could be any damn thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what she's talking about here.
So now, Forecast, you see why Idris Elba get some of them roles he get.
Why? Because he's a black actor?
No, because he done bent the knee. Yes, about.
Hey, that dude Godfrey, right? He made a joke, right? And he was like, Idris Elba get the joke because they only comfortable with black people that speak Brit. Like, they'll be like, oh yeah, hi sir, yeah, how are you doing? And then they start like, hey, yeah, what's up, dude? What's up, son? You know what I'm saying? And then they be like, oh, how was that? You know what I'm saying? And he said it way funnier, but it was like,
hey, I think Godfrey is the only African that FBI and ADOS don't give don't go at.
Yeah, well, I guess he's cool, I guess. Yeah, but yeah.
On various racial issues, because why would you want to put yourself in a box like that?
Well, particularly when his name has been touted as a new James Bond, which would be a very interesting choice. I just wonder, because you sounded, you raised,
it'd be a very interesting choice.
I reckon it might be something to do with having been born British of African parents rather than being born in America to African American ones. You think that's got something to do with it? It's like the British culture somehow maybe in play there.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, this is why I've always been critical of not imposing sort of American conceptualization of race onto sort of British black identity or even African identity, because they're completely different things. I often make the point that I grew up in Ghana. The conceptualization of my race being kind of my front and center identity sticking point would just never occurred to me. I never grew up with seeing the world through that lens. And I actually see that with many Black Britons as well, just because, it's a completely different context and societal conceptualization of race. So of course, this is kind of the conceptualization he has of this concept, because it's more to do with the fact that you are an individual first before your race, as opposed to in the US, for instance, where group identity seems to take precedence over of individual identity.
Absolutely.
Oh man, Bakari. It's one more point, but you want to say something, Bakari?
You can't take the only thing she said that made sense. Being raised in Ghana, you will see where being black, they wouldn't have to say it like us because everybody over there is black. You see what I'm saying? But once you leave Ghana and you go to the UK and you try to act like it's different, don't they know these motherfuckers that came over here and got the UK was from, means they got America, was from the UK?
Damn. That's the home of them fools.
Yes. So you just put one of them in front of the TV so they can sell out.
Damn. Yo, there's one more point because she tried to be like, yeah, she did try to throw Black Americans under the bus right there, Bakari. I don't agree with that. All right.
Push is getting so very serious.
She was following the white man lead. You know the one.
She was.
You notice the white man said it first, so then she just said it.
And she was.
Like, I ain't finna mess up this good job for them people over there in America.
So hella for them people in Ghana either. Shit.
Yeah. Or for Shaka Ra. You ever heard of Shaka Ra?
No.
I'm gonna have to go to his channel. I'm gonna ask him. He always put his link in the chat. I'm gonna go up there and ask him. He from England. I'm gonna ask him, do he agree with that? I bet you he don't agree with nothing they say. Her or Idris Elba.
Well, America's biggest and most revered sports event started with not just one national anthem, but two. Now, a white man sang the Star Spangled Banner, the official national anthem.
White man
a black
sung
woman
it.
sang what's known as the unofficial
And the
black
black woman
national
sang
anthem.
it.
Lift every voice. Here she is.
Lift every voice I see.
No disrespect.
So when I see this kind of separatism, separating nationally,
There we
two
go.
national anthems, this can't end well.
Yes, I mean, obviously, I think it's important to point out that this particular song, Lift Every Voice and Sing, is being sung as more of a political statement. So I've often drawn parallels with
walking the
Delilah being
tightrope
sung by
there.
Welsh rugby fans, or Swing Low, Sweet Chariot being sung by English fans. And they're unofficial anthems, for instance, but they do have a connection with the fan base. And people were arguing that this particular song that was sung at the Super Bowl has a kind of connection with black fans, for instance. The problem does come when it's sung as an unofficial black anthem, because then that begs the question, well, can white people sing it? What place does something like that have in the United States of America, which is effectively a melting pot, or the fact that American society has progressed so far that it's no longer a white versus black society like in the 1940s and 50s, but it really is a melting pot of Hispanic Americans who seem to get lost in this entire debate of race completely, Asian Americans, for instance, African Americans who are direct African origin, or African Americans who predated Black Africans in America, for instance. So that is where the issue is, and it's clearly caused more division. This is the third year in a row that they've sung it, and the people that are singing it are making it clear that they're singing it to highlight racial divisions. But then that also begs the question: shouldn't the Super Bowl just be about sports? Should it be about racial politics or anything politics related at all? Can't football fans just watch football without having to have any sort of politics?
Yeah, she tried her best to walk the tightrope without losing her job or like getting ran out of the studio. Now, Bakari, if I was to say she shouldn't have no ability to even say like whether we can or cannot sing James Brown, I'm Black and I'm Proud, or a Black national anthem, especially if this is the stance that she's taken. The same way that you would say for HBCUs, right? Like, you aren't the same. Am I right? Oh, Bakari fell off. I guess Bakari ran from that point. Yo, there you go, Bakari. You heard what I said? Yo, Bakari?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Oh, okay. No, she ain't the same. She outside. Who the hell is she? She ain't nobody. She just following the lead of Malcolm Mo. She ain't nobody. Yeah, I think that was it, Bobby. You right, Bob Gibson. I think it was, but she just following the lead of Malcolm Mo. She's pretty. She's very pretty. She's very, very pretty. But no, she couldn't, she couldn't hang out with a man like me. But I'm gonna catch Shaka Ra speaks, and I'm gonna ask him, and I bet you he don't agree with that. He ain't gonna agree with that. He ain't gonna agree with neither one of them.
Yeah. I
But
feel you.
Norma X had put in the chat. He say,
I can't see what he's saying.
he say, black immigrants just don't get it. They get it. The motherfuckers scared, just like a lot of us scared. They get it. They get it. They think that's a way for them to make it. They get it. Their proximity to whiteness. And it wouldn't surprise me. I would be highly pissed off. But it would not surprise me if I'd be mad. I would be mad. I'm gonna make that clear. But it wouldn't surprise me if she had I ain't gonna even say that.
A white dude.
Nah, see, you gave me a headache. It gave me a headache.
Oh man. I don't know, maybe not. She was trying to walk the tightrope where she was like, yeah, oh well, I understand why black people, but I am on your show, so it's massa.
But I had dropped off and I missed a lot. So she did come back and say she understands something.
She tried at the beginning, she tried to kind of trying to be like, oh well, it's a black, because we gotta respect black thing because it's a black thing, but we don't want to divide, because then are we going to do a white national anthem, a Latino national anthem, an Asian national anthem, and that whole talking point. So,
well, Latinos got a national anthem. The national anthem white folk got. Asians got a national anthem. The national anthem white folk got. Everybody got a national anthem. See, but our anthem need to be stronger than lift every voice and sing.
Lift every lift every gun and ring. Nah.
Yeah, we got to get stronger than lift every voice and sing to earth and heaven. You know how they. No, don't nobody want to hear that. I want to hear something strong.
Yeah. Even if we take past the praise the Lord and past the ammunition, we can steal that one if you want to. But we can make some way better stuff than they can. So
now we can take that and put a black beat on
it. put some bass in it.
Yeah, and let us remix it.
Yeah. All right, the last thing, Bakari, I gotta say something positive about Idris Elba because I said something negative. Right, so he want to open a film studio. So I'm gonna play this and then give our last statements.
Elba is in talks to open a studio in Tanzania. The British actor Idris Elba, who is 50 years old, he's known for being a Hollywood star, and reportedly he has his eyes on Tanzania. Tanzania's Director of Presidential Communications, Zuhuru Yunus, said, quote, "The president met with Idris Elba and his wife Sabrina. They are keen to invest in a film studio in Tanzania." She added that if the project goes through, it will be a hub for nurturing talent from not just Tanzania, but also East and Central African regions. Idris Elba's mother is from Ghana and his father from Sierra Leone. So, he's always been open and honest about how he feels about Africa and opening up studios and wanting to help the African youth that want to get into acting because, a lot of people really admire him and he's an inspiration to so many aspiring actors. So he's always been honest about how he feels about the motherland. In an interview recently, he said, quote, "I'm really keen on the development of Africa. My parents come from Africa, and more than anywhere in the world, I feel like the continent deserves some real tender care and love and thought. Young Africans view me as a leader or a beacon, and I feel like I could bring something. So I'm keen to bring what I've learned in media and amplify it in Africa." Those were his words. So it's not surprising that he wants to invest. It's just news to many people that he wants to invest in Tanzania, you know, as opposed to maybe Ghana, where his mother is from, or Sierra Leone, where his father is from. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if he wants to invest in Tanzania, it's a wonderful thing. Tanzania is also in Africa, and he's always wanted to invest in Africa. So that's a great opportunity for him. And he also got to talk to the president of Tanzania, and it seems like, you know, he's ready to take the steps and to create something brand new. And it's wonderful to see him doing this because he is good at what he does.
All right, so yeah, and that seems like a bit of a contradiction to what he was just saying about how he didn't want to be doing things for a specific reason. But go ahead, Bakari.
Hey, he passed the test of a black wife.
What you mean?
He got a black wife, so he passed that test.
Oh.
He passed that test. Him going back to Tanzania, I would say, or Tanzania, however you say it, I would say that's a wonderful thing. But like you said, it does seem hypocritical. But I'm going to also say this, right? With his daddy being Sierra Leone, right? You know, he could, you know, Black American. Oh, I'm just clowning. But
you said he could do what for a Black American?
His daddy could have been an African American.
Why you say that?
Because a lot of us went back to Sierra Leone. You know, a lot of us went back to Sierra Leone and Liberia.
All right.
But that's a good thing. Michael Blackson opened a school in Ghana for his people, and he reached out to Tyler Perry and asking Tyler Perry to help him do the same thing over in Ghana in West Africa. So that's a good thing. Nigeria got their Nollywood thing going, which you know, sometimes they can piss me off. I watch some of their movies. They do history, and I can watch their history, and I, you know, when they showing the history and showing the wars and all that. But sometimes some of that Nollywood shit can piss me off about the way they do things. But hey, I'll say it's a good thing, and I think eventually they might want to come together. But I guess every group of people want to say, well, this is my history, or this is my thing, so we can do this here. But Ghanaian movies is growing. They're kind of catching up with almost catching up with Ethiopia. You mean say with Nigeria. But that's a good thing what Idris Elba is doing. I give him that. And he don't want to be known as a black actor, but he want to go help groom black actors. How about that?
Yeah, yeah.
He also said to have them in the media, right?
Yeah, which I don't understand. Like, if he's saying that, you know, I don't know. It's too late for me to try to understand it. And now my ex said his ulterior motive said it's going to reverse the policy of no English language allowed in Tanzania. I don't know where Tanzania is at when you need her, but you know,
it's East Africa. It's over by Ethiopia, Uganda, over in that area.
Huh?
But it shouldn't. I'm gonna be honest. Well, I ain't gonna say they shouldn't say you shouldn't speak English if we go, but if you're gonna go stay there, you should have to learn their language. Ain't that what they do here in the United States? Well, unless you're Spanish, I take that back. You have to learn American and Spanish. You have to learn English and Spanish. But so coming to their country, you know, Swahili should be it, but I don't even think Swahili is their national tongue. But we do need to have our own damn tongue, shit.
Yeah. He's saying it's to reverse it. That's why he wanted to open a movie studio there. That's what Malcolm X is saying.
Oh, he was saying they're gonna reverse it, saying they can come there with the English stuff.
Yeah, because of the studio. He's saying it's to undermine that. That's what he's saying.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I gotta wrap it up because it's super late, Bakari. My bad.
And I'm gonna get 2 hours worth of sleep. You knew what you was doing, man. But that's all right.
Nah, man. Nah, you got caught up on the HBCU thing, man. We all outsiders, but we still got something to say about it, man.
Well, as long as you agree with what Dion doing, trying to agree with people still in the band, you're an outsider and you ain't got nothing to say. Ain't nobody gonna listen. The young lady done already let you know that.
And she said all of us. I don't agree with it. She threw all us in the category. She threw all us in the bag.
Telling you, she was talking to a certain group of people. I'm gonna have to send you the video so you can hear before that. And she was literally talking to a certain group of people. She wasn't talking about everybody. She was talking about a certain group of people.
Oh no, it sounded like she threw all us in the trick bag just now. I don't know.
But she wouldn't. She was literally talking to a certain group of people. That's why she said y'all don't go to an HBCU. Y'all didn't want to go. So it ain't your culture. Y'all don't like HBCUs no more. She was talking to them.
Yeah, well, she talking about specifically people that went to white schools. You know,
We're talking about people specifically, not because they went to a white school. She was talking about people specifically who said that's a great thing if Jackson State band go teach Colorado band for Dion. She was specifically talking to them.
But I'm saying I think insiders, a few, not all, of course, but I think there are insiders who probably agree with that, though.
And guess what they'll be called?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
They'll be called an outsider. They will be called an outsider. You know what? You say you don't know. I'll let you talk to my homeboy who graduated from Norfolk State and then ask him, man, what you think about the people who go to Jackson State agree saying the band should go to Colorado? Why would he tell you? Fuck them. They should have went there. They're going to say they outsiders too.
Yeah, I agree with that point, you know. But I get to say something too, you know what I'm saying? Because I support HBCUs, but I never went, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying to the sister. You're not different. You black like us, you know. It's black culture.
Unless you agree with Dion, if you agree with that, you're gonna be an outsider forecast. I'm just letting you know.
I don't know. It's just your boy, the only one that came on here defending it. Your boy.
So he's an outsider.
Yeah, that's true.
If he get up here, well, they should take the band to Colorado. So what's wrong with that? They'll get paid for it.
All right, so yo, you got any last words, Bakari?
Nah, man, I'm about to get off of here, man. I'm gonna get 2 hours worth of sleep.
Yeah, man, me too. I gotta get up anyway, too, my brother. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Y'all subscribe to Bakari's channel. Bakari, if you want, you can put it in the link. Bakari had the show earlier. You and Bawana gonna start doing that on a regular?
I'm gonna try to do at least 2 Fridays a month. We're gonna do it next week because I'm gonna do it again next week. But yeah, I'm gonna do it again next week. We're gonna talk about baseball and boxing next week. We're gonna talk about Kurt Flood. You know what Kurt Flood is?
Yeah, baseball though.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about Kurt Flood. You know Kurt Flood?
Yeah.
That's the guy who started free agency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember it with the lawsuit and all of that, you know. But baseball though.
Yep, he didn't get a chance to get from it. But everybody now who playing baseball or really any sport and get a chance to make money becoming a free agent or get a chance to leave a place you don't want to be, they should be paying homage to Kurt Flood.
So you probably gonna be on there defending Sammy Sosa or something next week.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't know how to defend people.
Nah, baseball is a good sport, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially if y'all talk about the Negro Leagues too, Bakari.
Oh yeah, we gonna talk about that. Oh yeah, man, we got to give Michael B. Jordan a shout out too, man. He's helping. Remember when Jay Will was like, if we want to see HBCUs do better because they're ours, we got to create some type of foundation to help them because these are our people. Michael B. Jordan is starting. He's helping create in the SWAC. Nobody did the SWAC did that big contract with the app. I can't think right now. The HBCU app, HBCU Go app.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan is creating a MEAC foundation to help fund the HBCUs in the MEAC.
Oh, all right. That's what's up. That's good. That's what's up.
Hey, Virginia Union CIAA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, some of their games are going to be on that app too.
Yeah, I know. I tried to look them up. Yeah, I missed the last game. It was against Virginia State. They in a tournament now. They gone. They in a different state. So
they got a good, but they normally have a good basketball team, Virginia Union.
yeah, normally they're pretty good.
They ain't got no good team this year.
No, they're good. Yeah, they number one this year. They were doing good this year. Normally they're pretty good.
Yeah, they got like 2 or 3 national championships.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben Wallace used to come down here all the time, but he ain't been down here I ain't seen him for a minute, but you know, he used
Charles Oakley went there too, right?
Yeah, I think so. I ain't never seen him down here though, but yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think he went there, and I think he's from Virginia. You probably don't want to see him. They call it he's 60. He the like to fight guy. He still want to fight.
Yeah, that's someone that sound like he from Richmond or been in Richmond, but nah.
Hey, look, they just started calling him the like to fight guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man.
They say Charles Oakley slapped the piss out of Charles Barkley one time, man. They say Charles Barkley didn't do nothing.
Yeah, I bet he didn't.
Oh, look what Charles Barkley say. He sound like, look at, man, ain't nobody scared of Charles Oakley.
Yeah, a lot of people ain't want to try with him, you know, any of them for real.
Ain't nobody scared of Charles Oakley when Charles Oakley ain't around slapping you.
Yeah. But yeah, man, so y'all gonna talk about, you know, baseball.
Yeah, but it's not just baseball, but that's what we're gonna start with though. Because I want to talk about Kurt Flood. Yeah, I want to talk about Sasha Page. I want to talk about Josh Gibson, the greatest home run hitter of all times. Talk about I'm sorry, forgive me, how they white ball Barry Bonds from the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I think that's a sport I think more of our youth should get in just but they made it so expensive. They made it so expensive to play. But that is something that more value because I think sports is something good to, you know, keep your mind occupied. You ain't just sitting around getting it. You see what I'm saying? It can teach you discipline.
Yeah, I used to play baseball, you know, and the thing about baseball, like, they have the least strain on your body. They play a lot of games, but it's the least strain on your body. They got the most guaranteed contracts, you know what I'm saying? And they probably make the most money. So
do you see that damn money they making in baseball now?
Yeah, nobody watches, so I don't know how, but they do.
Man, go look up I'm willing to bet you between the last 10 and 15 contracts, ain't nobody making less than $30 million a year. Man, they got a couple making $40 million a year guaranteed. $40 million guaranteed for 10 years.
Yeah, guaranteed, like for like 10 years, like, and you could play it well into your old age, but
yeah, that's why I'm thinking about going to trial for the Braves this year.
Right.
See if I can get me a 1-year contract, $40 million.
Yeah, I really could have been doing it. Like, yo, I was on like all-star teams and stuff like this, like, you know, like, but you know, I couldn't do it. Like, it was too many. Like, I was on a team with the governor's son and all of that. This fat white boy, Aston. You know what I'm saying? Like Aston Gilmore. Well, no, his son name was Aston, but Governor Gilmore, whatever his first name, I think John or whatever the hell his name was. But you know, I went to their house and all of that stuff. But I was like too young to know any better. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I was always nice. Me and my boy was like the nicest ones, and we was the only black people around. You know what I'm saying? We was the only ones chilling together though. But yeah. But y'all ran on the Jack Johnson thing earlier. But
no, we're gonna talk about boxing next week too.
All right.
We gonna when we do it, yeah, we're gonna talk about boxing. We're gonna talk about boxing.
All right, Bakari. Yeah, so man, we got to get up out of here, man. So that's all you want to say though?
Yeah, that's it. No, look, man. Everybody in the chat, it was good. I hope y'all enjoyed what you heard. Oh, Norm X say he like baseball. He say he hate the major leagues. Yeah, he is. Hey, but Dusty Baker, now he ain't the first black one. They don't have one black one before him. Matter of fact, I think the first black one to win as a head coach was Puerto Rican or Dominican, and was proud to say he was one of them Latinos that was proud to say he was black.
Yeah, I remember. I forget the dude name. Something so like Pittsburgh or something.
Yeah. Then you had the one from Toronto who won as a manager.
Roberto Clemente or something like that.
The Pirates. Then you got the one who won with as a manager, won with the Toronto Blue Jays. He was proud to say he was black. Yeah, there may have been Felipe Alou in Toronto, but yeah, they were proud to say they were black. They went on Latino, like when they did a whole ESPN did a whole special on them. Man, if you watch a lot of those black players from Latin America that play baseball, they say they proud to be black. They say they also understand why. They say they also understand why African Americans had a problem when they first started playing. But they say they had to explain to African Americans that they were coming for nothing. And they say they had to realize once they started making money, they realized that, they were making 10 million, and it seemed like it was a lot, because 10 million is a lot. But they was getting 10 million, but it's African Americans who was as good as them or better, who should have been getting 15 to 20 million. They say they realized that they were used to undercut African Americans' pay, but they say they were able to come to an agreement with African Americans, like, man, because we poor too. So, but they say after a while they realized that they were used for that.
Yeah. I used to like baseball when I was young. You know what I'm saying? I used to like you know what I'm saying, the Braves, especially the black players. Fred McGriff, I used to like him. You know, my mom never liked David Justice because she knew somebody that knew his people or whatever. But
he from Virginia.
I don't know. I think it was somebody he was married to, and he did her dirty, so my mom didn't like her, and she knew somebody. Like, I don't know. It was something. I don't know. I was young, but
they say allegedly he used to put hands on Halle Berry. Then allegedly it came out that wasn't true. Halle Berry made it up. I don't know.
Yeah, but he used to talk to another woman that wasn't like famous though, or something, or was married or something. I don't remember the story. Maybe I am tripping, but
no, you might not be. Shit, they know other people that ain't famous. They just regular people. They go back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody they know ain't famous.
Yeah. I used to like, you know, my age was like Ken Griffey Jr. I used to like Ozzie Smith, you know what I'm saying? But then I kind of lost interest in all of that, you know what I'm saying? So
I went to school with Ken Griffey Jr. Youngest sister in Mississippi. Yep. I played baseball with one of his younger brothers, Little League. They had come to visit. Of course, they from Florida, but they come to visit one summer. The younger brother, he was good too. But his youngest sister moved down there. And because she came down there and she wanted to stay with her auntie. Yeah. So they were taking that girl money. She had to move out. I've never lived a life where I'm 15 years old and I get $3,000 a month in allowance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh,
but baseball players though, they be having that kind of life, yo.
Yeah, that's the life. That's the life the little sister had. She was getting they say $3,000 a month for allowance. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, but I straight lost interest, and black players kind of stopped going out. The more interest I guess everybody lost interest at the same time.
Oh man, you should have watched the Astros last year, then, man. They had an African American coach, Dusty Baker, in the World Series, and if not, they had got damn near all the black Latinos was on their team.
Yeah, but Dusty Baker been there for a minute, but that's what I'm saying. It's all like it's not it's like it's black people, it's Hispanic black people. That's the black people in there now. You know what I'm saying? Like the ones who are black is mostly Hispanic.
Yeah, and I think the Astros, half of their starting lineup every game they were starting 4 or 5 black people.
Yeah.
They look, ain't no way, ain't nobody ask them. Ain't no way, none of they Hispanic, none of they Latinos could say they ain't black.
Right, yeah, they super. I don't know, Sammy Sosa. You could used to say that about him, but you see what's going on now with him.
Oh, he
I used to
ain't
be a fan of him.
he ain't black no more. He pink. He is pink. But yeah, man, he had all of them. Look, Dusty Baker said he was gonna retire after he won a World Series. They asked him, "So you gonna retire now?" He was like, "Man, this feels so good. I'm gonna try for one more before I retire."
Right. But the thing is though, you know, and they wait till they done, like, you know, like that dude CC Sabathia. He ain't say nothing until about like racism in baseball until after he retired though. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Pitch with the Yankees.
Yeah.
Big lefty.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. Y'all tune in for Bakari Baseball Show with him and Bawana. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely gonna be a good show, man. And I appreciate it, Bakari. Anything else, my brother?
No, that's it.
All right, appreciate it. I appreciate you hanging out with my brother Bakari. You know, I had some other stuff to show. I'll show it next time, but I'm gonna try to be back with the Black History lesson. I may not finish in time because I won't supposed to do this live tonight, but I appreciate y'all. And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we gonna keep falling for anything.